Hello there. Welcome to the morning news here on New Day on TV3. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Coming up in the next few minutes. President John Mahama calls for a bold and coordinated overhaul of Africa's financial architecture if the continent is to access affordable and long-term capital. Also on the program, Ghana Journalists Association demands immediate investigation and punishment of military personnel who brutally assaulted media generals Northeast correspondent Solomon Kanawule. And much later on the program, a drug law enforcement unit of Ghana Police Service destroys large quantities of seized cannabis and other narcotic substances. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Now, President John Mahama has issued a clarion call for a bold and coordinated overhaul of Africa's financial architecture, warning that the continent's industrial ambitions will remain stalled without access to affordable long-term capital. At the Africa Trade Summit 2026, the president warned that Africa's industrialization is being stifled by shallow financial markets and high interest rates, making essential long-term capital unaffordable.
President Mahama urged African nations to fund their own growth by boosting tax collection, tightening financial management, and aggressively blocking the drain of illicit financial flows. A key pillar of the president's proposal involves unlocking the massive reserves held within the continent.
Shallow financial markets, high interest rates, debt pressures, and limited non-extractive investments continue to slow our progress. These constraints demand new thinking and collective action. Africa must mobilize its domestic resources more effectively through improved revenue collection, stronger financial management.
Sir Sam Jonah earlier called for unapologetic self-interest by Africa to secure prosperity.
This is the moment for Africa to be selfish, unapologetically so, boldly selfish in pursuing our interests. No more deference to distant agendas. No more exporting raw material while importing finished dependency. Africa first. Selfish means demanding fair terms in every deal.
Deputy Director General of the United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO, Fatou Haidara, called on African nations to synchronize trade and industry.
The core challenge lies in pace and scale, marked by timid integration and slow execution. It's clear the African Continental Free Trade Area will not deliver all its promises without industrialization.
Now, Vice President Professor Nana Opoku-Agyeman has emphasized the need to prioritize child-centered policies to create a brighter future for all children. Speaking at the end of a two-day retreat organized by the National Development Planning Commission at Senchi, the Vice President said that protecting social spending, ending violence, fixing education, and defeating child hunger are investment in the country's future.
Over 90 participants gathered in Senchi for a period of 2 days to discuss strategic plans aimed at improving the welfare of children. Issues concerning maternal, neonatal and child mortality, sanitation, adolescent pregnancy, among other child health matters were discussed. The Director of Research at the National Development Planning Commission, Richard Junibua-Kudia, presented 7 cross-cutting areas that need to be addressed as soon as possible.
These are our commitments, that we establish an interministerial coordination committee on nutrition and sanitation to strengthen collaboration and coordination at national and subnational levels. We would also want to develop a comprehensive and innovative financing strategy that streamlines diverse funding sources. We would also want to implement existing comprehensive sanitation and nutrition strategies and plans at scale, using an all-of-society approach to shift social norms and practices on open defecation.
He stressed the need for sustainable financing, improving the quality of education and investing in adolescent girls for long-term prosperity. The Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman, said prioritizing children's welfare is not just a legal obligation, but a moral imperative and a sound investment in the country's future.
Government has taken steps to implement strategic child-centered reforms. These include the Care Reform Roadmap. Ghana is shifting from institutional care to family-based alternatives, strengthen inspections, and foster care. It is about time.
She urged the NDPC to put in place a robust mechanism to track the commitments made at the retreat to ensure they translate into tangible actions.
Government, civil society, the private sector, development partners, and communities must unite to ensure that every child grows up safe, healthy, and well educated. The life of a child is not the time for turf wars, self-aggrandizement. The child should not be the center of fights that do not aid his life.
Much, Mr. Zia Cho.
Now, the Ghana Journalists Association has demanded an immediate investigation and punishment of military personnel who brutally assaulted Media General's Northeast correspondent Solomon Kanawule. Now, GJ says that it is deeply troubled by the rising attacks on journalists by security agencies and wants all identified culprits interdicted and prosecuted.
Military was doing something right, was lawfully exercising their powers. Why would they seize his phone after subjecting him to inhuman attack? Seize his phone, flash his phone, so he wouldn't get any information. And even messages that were sent earlier to people on that day were all deleted before the phone was recycled. This is how inhuman some people can be. And this is unacceptable, unlawful, and deeply troubling. It reflects a dangerous disregard for the right of civilians and journalists and undermines public confidence in the professionalism of the Ghana Armed Forces. The GJA condemned this assault in the strongest terms and calls on the military high command to immediately investigate the incident, identify the personnel involved, and apply appropriate sanctions. We further demand that the matter be treated with the seriousness it deserves and that the victim is offered protection and support. Attacks on journalists by military personnel, whether in the line of duty or otherwise, are completely intolerable and must not be normalized under any circumstances. We will await the position of the military high command. We are very much keenly and interested in the matter, and we are ready to react and respond to any position they come out with. We hope that they will be very fair, firm, objective, and candid with their position. This is the media they are talking about. They can't use our own media. You can't issue a statement which will be contrary to the truth and expect our people to cover it, to give you the needed mileage. We will await the position of the military high command on this matter.
Meanwhile, the Ghana Armed Forces says it has launched an investigation into the assault. In a statement, Acting Director General of Public Relations, Captain Veronica Ahin, emphasized the commitment of the Ghana Armed Forces to uphold security while investigating the assault. More here on the morning news, and leadership of the National Democratic Congress have vowed to seek redress following the reinstatement of Matthew Nyendam as Member of Parliament for Pandai constituency after the Supreme Court's decision. Earlier, the Apex Court, by a 4-1 majority decision, quashed the Tamale High Court ruling that annulled the Pandai parliamentary election in December 2024. Our Court Affairs correspondent, Lord Edward Sari, brought us this report earlier.
Lawyers of the Pandai Member of Parliament, Matthew Nyendam, had prayed the Supreme Court to overturn the decision of the Tamale High Court with the argument that the election petition filed by NDC parliamentary candidate Daniel Insala-Wakpao was filed outside the 21-day mandatory period. It was his case that the Pandai parliamentary results were initially gazetted on 24 December 2024, making the petition submitted on 25 January 2025 out of time. but Daniel and Salawakpao's lawyers opposed. They indicated that the petition was filed within the statutory period because the second gazette compiled on January 6 was relied on, adding that Nyendam relied on same during earlier proceedings at the Tamale High Court. As the case was pending at the Supreme Court, orders were given for the suspension of the Pandai election rerun, which had earlier been announced by the Electoral Commission following the announcement of the results by the Tamale High Court. The overturning of the High Court decision and subsequent quashing of same means there will be no Pandai election rerun. A legal representative of the NDC parliamentary candidate, Roxanne Nelson Defemekpo, expressed disappointment at the decision of the court.
As a party, we are aggrieved by this decision, and therefore we will advise our candidate in the matter regarding the next step to take. We should be interested in the Gazette notification published by the Assembly Press under the authority of the Electoral Commission that was brought to Parliament, for which people like me were sworn in. That cannot be a gazette that will be discounted by the court.
Having retained a seat in Parliament, Pandai legislator Matthew Nyendam was elated with the proceedings.
Not my first time I've been in Parliament. 2012, I was elected and I served the people 2 terms. They know whom I am and I'm serving them honestly. So unfortunately, what happened? I give glory to God. In my life, whatever happens, I think that is ordained to happen. So I'm not going to run away from what happened. But I know very well that the people gave me the mandate. And by the grace of God, God is alive. My God is alive. He will obviously speak for me one day. And he has spoken to me for me today. And I'm grateful. I'm going back to Parliament to continue to serve the people.
NDC parliamentary candidates Daniel and Salawakpawa called for peace in the constituency following the decision of the Supreme Court.
My supporters, the people of Pandai, they all know that we have fought a good fight. And we're happy. They didn't say they didn't rig the election. They said we're out of time. And we'll see. We are waiting for the ruling and we'll take it from there. Thank you very much.
Lord Edwasari for that report. Now, the Drug Law Enforcement Unit of the Ghana Police Service has destroyed large quantities of seized cannabis and other narcotic substances. There's more in the following report.
The exercise involved consignment of suspected cannabis, tramadol and other drugs intercepted during various anti-narcotic operations across different parts of the Ashanti region. The destruction was carried out under tight security and in line with legal and environmental safety procedures after court approval was obtained for the disposal of the substances. The police say the move is intended to send a strong warning to individuals involved in the illegal drug trade.
What we are saying is that wherever they are, those who are dealing with drugs, no, they should stop. But wherever they are, we shall get them arrested. And the law will not spread them.
The Ghana Police Service has reiterated its commitment to safeguarding public health and safety, especially among the youth, through sustained enforcement and public education.
The Ashanti Regional Police Command is determined because we believe that it is drug use that is helping these young ones into criminal activities. So we are committed to deal with it.
In a related development, the Ashanti South Regional Police Command has intercepted 713 slabs of suspected narcotic substances and arrested a commercial driver during a routine snap check operation at Asanso.
The team intercepted a Sprinter Mercedes-Benz with registration number AC 718-25 carrying the substance stashed in nylon sacks. When questioned about the source and destination of the goods, the suspect driver told police that it was given to him by an unknown person around Kejetia Lorry Station to be delivered to another unknown person at Obuasi at the cost of 600 cedis.
Meanwhile, 4 suspected armed robbers have been arrested in connection with a robbery incident that occurred at Kunsu in the Ashanti region on 7 December 2025.
Police investigations indicate that the suspects are members of a criminal syndicate responsible for a series of robbery and stealing cases at Kunsu and its environs. During interrogation, the suspects admitted to conspiring and robbing miners of cash, gold concentrates, locally known as black, and other valuables.
The regional command is assuring the general public of its continued commitment to maintaining peace, law and order in the region.
Ibrahim Abubakar, Ashanti Regional Correspondent, filed that report. Well, that'll be it for the morning news here on Newday on TV3. My name is Beatrice Edu. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Do stay with us on Newday. get a chance of getting at least 1,000 Ghana cedis from this. I was telling you earlier about the conversation my colleague Kukiti had with some of the individuals around the Accra train station. I just want you to watch a little bit of it and we'll come back to continue with the conversation.
Mommy, me pacho ai. Anasemi hu sa woda ase ha sisi e. Wo ye den wo train na ase ho. Oh, me ye den me ye den. Ehona me chi glory kaka, glory na me chi. What den? Glory. Anu so ye den. Mo me da so obi say no so ye den. Glory, obi kan glory a, oti asesen glory, oti asesen glory, oti asesen. Say glory enum onyama na. Glory ne yenso de ne glory no. Like say ye juma inside or counter inside no. Ye juma ne ye bra. Ye wo ye juma wa bre no. Baby abeko choke kakra na wo je wo homye bi, wo feel wo e glory no glory. Inti ye so be ni ye bresa na tie na so ne ane ye jemframa ane you just say ye wo bre ho ane ye bibia style baby ane te say Jamaican ti ase ane te say ye chance ti glory ni ye feel ye ho style bia bi odo na wo fa style bia bi de obi so na eboje so bra be me obi so na eboje so style bia bi ba we e trainer ebetumi movie at any time na wo da ase say bus speed na e fa wo so oba enden odo me da ase wakasa train no ebe movie any time bia na oba ban ya kire yen aben obebo no o ha kwa obeti aben no ena me nwane ka o ha na fa kwa aben no obeti nti ti aben ne pa bia wo bia no o ben train o dase o so ufiri ho ana yen na ye wa ha na ye tete na ye ton ade na ye tete ano so ye adwuma ye mpema aben na bone de so we dan obi afiri ho na ho da ona train bisi ona o ma efro na driver no ba no obi afro na etuko na minua na da aben ne be boy e bia wada deep pa na wentumi ansore de nya wo na wada obi anai what you say I street aha nti de obi be ba be nyane ho e bo okra de be bo amo asore wada akọ wadu togo kura beba ye be nyane na wasore na me patro mo started da ha say acha na ye sha se da de ache pa because ye nya adwuma bi anye aya na ye won ye de lie tiare ada eno me bi ada ne asem no obi say madam inside there da we hanya da usi obe free kroma ba na enya obi ada be nya sika ko han dan 30 million 70 million 80 million no inti ene ba kanta no hana ne da e man me pon anko no ne so aboye net ye de mattress ade atoto ne ya boye mosquito net ne ada ne afili me na nse na mo me na se yakoma ne adwin na ye worry o ja se ene me panic bebra na se de no moya ma o panic bebre ade no moya ma o panic bebre na se o enye bibia ye kasa be me pese me chese tema ne da hana ne afili no ye se ne ye nya chance na sa biom inti na ma yakoma ne adwin na inti you say yen so scan and din bia nhire ne we ko han dan na de inti panicking to the frustrated and e do no mra hanso ne ye da ye bonnet ne adan na de te say ama yakoma ne ya da inside on ye okay te say aje se no da kwa na te say mo na so da fie be say ye na ho bi me yakoma ne ya adwen dan han na de ene obi so be na 30 million 40 million na ko han dan na de what you say nya botre ma me na ofri hin e bae ofri fa na oba kra ha yeah if you go ko na ofri na ko na ede adwuma na wo yansa wo ba madam ko utie adwuma ho so still yan akra ne pe bibia ho still akra ne pe akra de seconds now you okay akra de pa wo ya grand akra de say downtown na o se cat no oh my god me check it off. Me susu me check you. And ntina ohu hia me a anka menya ya anka wunda TV3 ya rebetro mo. Mbla meboa mpenifo no mbla meboa ye mo aye tete enye na na illiterate bebre awie square ni me left and right. Ko school an man adwuma bi anim. What you say? Aha, adwuma bi anim ti omomo aye. De bi omo ba no ma twa entro street boys omo ma adwuma omo ma adwuma omo ba so a omo ma me ne omo ba mo na omo diska na hwe. Enti sanko mutumi ba ebe ma modwuma de a. Ye be ye pa. Ye be ye. Why? Ye da mo say. Ye be ma TV3 for aso. Quite an interesting perspective coming from the individuals Kukiti spoke to. They're expressing why they are now frustrated because they think they don't have the peace of mind to sleep
in this area. Obviously, a train station, the dangers associated with sleeping in such environment, and the defense of really the decision to be under the trains. And that bit about what the man said, the one particularly coming from Kwewu and saying that he was working in Kwewu, which is in the eastern region, but he prefers to be in Accra. And he seemed to have spoken on behalf of his other colleagues as well, that they want to be in Accra rather than being in other parts of the country because they just want to be here. And so this morning, we want to really get your thoughts on the role of citizens really in the kind of challenges that we're facing in Ghana, and what you believe stakeholders can do to ensure is a win-win situation, not just for the government, like I said, win-win, but also the citizens as well. And I'm also reminding you that we'll also be getting your thoughts on the Kwandai parliamentary election. The fact that the Supreme Court by 4-1 majority decided to quash that decision, earlier decision by the Tamale High Court to order for a rerun of that parliamentary election result. Remember that it was in November last year that the NDC decided to go to court against the declaration of Matthew Nyendam as the winner, because out of the 152 polling stations, there were some irregularities in 41 polling stations. And if you've been following it, we also heard the other side also saying that, well, ideally they had 21 days to challenge that election result. They filed after that, and so that was a problem in the first place. Also talked about the jurisdiction of the High Court as well, and eventually the decision of the Supreme Court to quash that earlier decision by the Tamale High Court. Share with us your thoughts and what you think this means for the constituency. This will not be the first time that an election result has faced protest or legal battles, and we saw what happened in Assin North and how it dragged and affected that constituency, eventually with the Member of Parliament being restored, Jachi Kwesin. And so share your thoughts with us. We do know that the Supreme Court will be given the full details of the judgment it gave yesterday on the 6th of February. So we'll get to understand the real reasons behind why it decided by a 4-1 majority to as it were, overturned the decision of the Tamale High Court, which ordered for a rerun of the Kwandai parliamentary election. That's the 2024 election results. So call in. The numbers will be displayed on your screen very shortly, and share your thoughts with us. First, on the role of citizens in dealing with the transport challenge. We brought you a bit of what people are saying, those who are there. Some may say that they are impeding this whole project and success of our train system. Share with us, what do you think? What can stakeholders, including the government, do to ensure that this is a win-win situation for the country, for the government, as well as the citizens who have found themselves there claiming they want to be in Accra, but they don't have jobs, and so they've ended up being where they are. But I'm reminding you again, we're doing cash out is *439#. You follow the prompt, you pick your favorite platform. It is number 2 right here on TV3. And we will always tell you, the more you play, the higher your chances of winning that 1,000 Ghana cedis. And so keep playing as you call in to share your thoughts with us. It's time for This Morning. And you're welcome to This Morning segment on Newday on TV3. I did say that we're looking at the decision of the Supreme Court to quash the Tamale High Court's earlier decision to order for a rerun of the Kwandai parliamentary election. And also we're bringing you the perspectives of citizens in terms of dealing with the transport crisis that we have. We just showed you a video of certain individuals within the Accra train station. My colleague Roland Walker is currently within Nungwa. He'll be bringing us an update from there as well. But we do have our first caller on the line. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
This is good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Very well, thank you. How are you too?
This is Collins.
Yes.
Amamole.
Yes, Collins. We haven't heard from you in a while. How are you?
Yes. By the grace, I'm doing good. What about you too?
Okay. Share with us what you think.
This opportunity to give my own boss, Mr. Apesimesa, Deputy CEO of the Mashepia TSC. Look, yesterday, you see MPP. I heard MPP, that's the MP, I forgot the MP's name.
Matthew Nyendam.
Matthew
Nyendam.
Or something. But yes, you see, yesterday, see how he is laughing. Telling the nation that yes, the Supreme Court has spoken. We are in this country just less than a day ago. Minorities spoke of harsh words against the Supreme Court. Even the appointment committee. Look, this is good governance. This better Ghana reward. This better Ghana reward. Look, NPP means that if it's not their turn or their government, then no one should control the judiciary. You see, you don't govern like this. You don't govern like this. See yesterday, see how they are jubilating. They mean yes. President Muhammad and NDC are in good channel, good direction. Let me land this to truck drivers. Look, this is so they are doing what they are doing. But I will appeal to President Muhammad, the transport minister, that no, they should do something about it before it's too late. Because indeed, petrol and diesel has come down. And still, they are claiming it is like they have the capacity to do everything they want. Straight, circle straight, across straight. But if it's nearly to actually like 11 a.m. to 12 p.m., then normal say, meaning they know what they are doing. So please, President Muhammad and the transport minister should do something about it. It's very, very terrible and bad. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Solomon, for calling us from Amamole and for sharing your thoughts with us as well. Yeah, so you can also call in and share with us what you think about what we're discussing. We do have another caller with us. Good morning to you, please. Tell us your name, where you're calling us from. Okay, so we've lost him there, but this morning we're talking to you about the Pandai parliamentary election results, the decision of the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court yesterday quashed the earlier decision by the Tamale High Court, which ordered for a rerun of the parliamentary election results in Pandai. That's the 2024 parliamentary election results. And of course, we're talking to you about the role of citizens in dealing with our transport crisis. We do have another caller on the line. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
Beatrice, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Alhaji. How are you?
Oh, fine. How's Cookie Tea?
Cookie is doing very well.
Papa Ro is well.
Yes, Papa Roll as well. Who will be joining us from Nungwa very shortly. Tell us, what do you think, Alhaji?
Let me send my greeting to Shami Mamusa and Yasban Alaji Alat and Chairman Professor Ampo and Dr. Abukar Umi and my municipal chief executive, Hussein Alas and brother man. And entire listener for the TV3. You see, Cookie Tea, Beatrice, I think yesterday, Supreme Court came out to saying that the Pandaya election is over. The member of parliament for the NPP, he will still be a member of parliament. But not final judgment and they deliver yesterday. Is that also? Not final judgment and they deliver. On the 6th of February, and they will come to sit in the case and give the ruling. I think we have been waiting, but some people, they are happy singing the party song. Let me thank Honorable Nelson, the Fiamapo, for the briefing, and he briefed to us and tell us what is happening and we should remain calm. And that is how we will do. But the same people calling the court is kangaroo court. Is that also? If you call the court kangaroo court, look at the Afonyamaki, what he did for the MPP, holding the press conference and calling them any name, and you want to call them. So nothing has changed. We have been waiting. If the different judgment came and these people come out to say something, and we will know that these people, they are so hypocrite. And you members of MPP in Tandaya, what are you people jubilating? And started insulting Dr. Chiar Computer and talking rubbish. You see, we should be fair for ourselves. Because they know very well that they stole the verdict. If you stole the verdict, one police station can have 1,000 plus voters. 1,000 plus. This thing cannot happen in this country. So we should look about these things and see how we can deliver our judgment. Today, judges can be fair, but tomorrow they cannot be fair again. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation great and strong. Great Nazo furnace for me. Alhaji furnace in Sakulubu.
Thank you very much, Alhaji, for calling in and for sharing your thoughts as well. We do have another caller on the line. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
Good morning, Madam Beatrice. This is Sani from Wali Wali.
Good morning, Sani. How are you today?
Today I'm fine. I'm very, very fine.
Great.
Yes, I want to greet my MC, Raju Jabbar, the former NDC parliamentary candidate, Honorable Abubakar Abdullah, and to call on President Muhammad to get him something. In fact, he suffered for the party, so he should try and get him something to also do and to also be part of his administration. And then apart from that, I want to congratulate Martin Yindam. In fact, for now, he's won the case. So I want to congratulate him. But I'm very, very surprised by the ruling of the court saying that the NDC did not file, within the 21 mandatory date after the Gazette. I think that is what they used to quash the Tamale High Court ruling.
Well, Sani, remember that the court will bring the full reasoning on the 6th of February, so we'll get to know all the details of why that decision yesterday.
Yes. But there's the surface I'm talking about. But my issue is the same judges and lawyers tell us that crime has no expiring date. Okay, so if they tell us that crime has no expiring date, meanwhile they are using the CI of the 2024 election to quash it because it does not meet the 21 days threshold. For me, I think it is in contravention with the law. And for that matter, I support the lawyers of the NDC that they need to file for a review of the case, so that they will really determine the truth of all what happened there. And then again, they did not look at the substance of the matter, okay? Because they talk of overvoting and then what? They declaring in the elections without the presence of the NDC agents and all that. So the court did not look at those things. They just look at the 21 days. But you see, it tells you that these days nobody can predict the outcome of any court case in Ghana. Gone are the days under just Tokonu and then the MPP, where we could predict the 7-0, that is the unanimous SC and all that. Today, it is not like that. Even though the current CJ is being appointed by President Mahama, but he's doing, what is right. So for now, we need to thank them and then appreciate what they are doing. And then yesterday, like somebody is saying, Afonyamaki and then the MPP, they were praising the judges. You see, the same person who called them kangaroo and all that, said they're shameful after the first ruling. You remember the kind of, insult they rained on them. But yesterday, they were happy about their decision. So I think that is not good. We have a very transparent and independent judiciary now. So let us try and protect their sanctity. We should not insult them when it doesn't fit us, but praise them when we are happy for what they do. So by and large, I want to thank you and then the people of Wali Wali. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sani, as well, for calling us from Wali Wali and for sharing those thoughts with us. And there's a message coming in from Rafiq Mahama. I'll read that message, but we do have, very shortly, we do have another caller joining us on the line. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from. Hello? Okay, we'll have to fix that line. And please remember that the numbers are displayed on your screen. Call in and share your thoughts with us. We're talking about the role of citizens in dealing with the transport crisis in Ghana. We brought you some information that we gathered from the Accra train station when we spoke to those individuals who are perching there, as it were. But let's go to John now, who joins us on the phone. Good morning to you, John. Please tell us where you're calling us from. What's on your mind?
I'm calling from Kusap, Boko.
Yes, sir. How is Boko this morning?
Boko is cool. Permit me to say good morning to my overlord of Boko, Boknaba Jugran, Atigre Abuawa, the second. Now, but when I'm not good, one of an anam, never nice from Musa. Nice sonka bok, very lamb. My dear Beatrice, if you look at the whole decision of the Supreme Court, I don't know if somebody can see somewhere to describe your colleague as a kangaroo, and the same judges are also sitting on the same issue, and they have ignored the insult that they have rained on them. I don't know what we are not learning from the judicial line.
Hello, John.
Hello.
Yes, please go on with your point.
Yes, I don't know how they are looking at the judges. If somebody can sit somewhere, the same judge will sit somewhere and rule something, and somebody will sit somewhere and insult that judge. Say, oh, it's a kangaroo. What and what? So, we the youth, what knowledge are we acquiring from the judicial line? What knowledge are we acquiring to be lawyers? What knowledge are we acquiring to be judges? So, my dear, I will thank you very much for your work you have been doing for Ghana and to the world at large.
Thank you. Thank you so much for calling in and calling us from Boko. We do have Eben, who is joining us from Kwabenya right here in Accra. Eben, thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Good morning, my dear. I hope you are doing well. From Kwabenya.
Good morning. Doing very well. How are you?
Oh, not bad at all. And I thank my Heavenly Father this morning that now the resetting agenda is ongoing. So I'm most grateful for giving me this opportunity. Let me say good morning to my boss, Honorable Peter Minister of the Shipyard, the Deputy Chief Executive. Also to my MP, Honorable Likrima Flugu, and the guy is MC, Honorable Agbu, for the human job they're doing. We appreciate them. You see, my dear sister, although I'm sad, but I'm happy for good governance. Because from the look of things, you can see that what good governance is at our doorstep. So I thank God He gave us this change for us to see this good governance. And for me, I just want to say that what former national security minister can sleep in peace. And I believe if I say that, you know where I'm saying that. I'm talking about Honorable Kindiki. He can sleep in peace. You remember when they were in power and as national security minister, he one day said that the whole world, the ruling of the Supreme Court is going one side. It's a very big worry for the country. If you remember, my dear sister. Hello.
Yes, please go ahead.
If you remember, I just want to listen. It's a conversation we are having. If you remember, that for the first time, Supreme Court was able to give a verdict for one against the executive. It can tell you that Ghana is heading to a right direction. Although I'm a sad as a member of NDC, You see, because from the look of things, you have realized that what the executive, it is not being influenced. It's not influenced the judicial, as they said that the micro minority did not believe markets. We were here when the verdict came out by the High Court. Look at how we castigated and chastised the judiciary. That was the judiciary is doing the best that they are playing master. To the extent that was he refused, the minority refused to see the what the current chief executive, current CJ, Bafo Boni, when he was going on this tour. You see, wherever you find yourself now, as a matter, buy your head down in shape. Because you thought what Bafo Boni is coming to do the bid of the government, but it's not so. We were here when you saw on CJ Tokono, around 9, by 12 o'clock, he accepted the issue for you to castigate the party. You see, wherever you see him, buy your head, you'll be shaped. Yes, you people are jubilating. You think you are doing somebody. Your party will remain in the position for long. So your misbehavior. Have a good morning, my dear sister.
Have a good morning as well. Thank you so much for calling in. And Eben was referring to that statement made by the former National Security Minister, Albert Kandapa, that it will be a dangerous situation for the country if the court's rulings seem to be towards one direction only. Thank you very much for calling in and for sharing your thoughts with us. Let's speak to one more caller who joins us on the phone as well. Mohammed, good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Good morning.
Yes, tell us where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from Salaga, Tabana region.
Salaga, okay. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you to Madam.
Yes.
I'm wishing you all the best, the work you are doing for us.
Thank you.
Also, I'm greeting my incoming NPP candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bomia. I wish him all the best. May Almighty Allah support him so that Ghana will change again, inshallah. And also, I'm congratulating the Okonda MP. I wish him all the best, inshallah. That's all my listening.
Okay, well, Mohammed, thank you very much for calling from Salaga. Very quick message. There's a message also coming from Rafiq Mahama, and he says and he's actually wishing the brother of the president happy birthday. And he says, happy 55th birthday to Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. And he has this message: your impact on humanity cannot be qualified. You keep changing and transforming the lives of many across Africa and beyond. Your vision is your vision in the industry is unmatched. Your leadership is exceptional. You are an endless fountain of inspiration. May God continue to grant you good health, more life, and more abundant blessings. From the board of directors, management and staff of Engineers and Planners Company Limited, Jata Cement, also Azuma Resources Limited, and all subsidiary companies across Ghana. So happy 55th birthday to you, Mr. Ibrahim Mahama. And that's coming from Rafiq Mahama. Thank you for sending in the message, and happy birthday to you, sir. We do have a caller from Kumasi. Good morning to you, sir. Your name, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us what you think.
Hello, good morning, Beatrice.
Good morning to you, sir.
My name is Nana Kwame.
Yes, Nana.
Calling from Kumasi.
Thank you.
Yeah, Beatrice, what happened yesterday at the Supreme Court, it is a wisdom. That's what we call wisdom. The judges at the Supreme Court add wisdom to the work that they are doing. You know, if you recall, the chiefs and the people of Bandai petitioned President that for the sake of peace, they should let this re-election stay. So the judges, for that matter, decided to quash this decision by removing or to go for the rerun. That doesn't imply the judge, the High Court judge at Kamali is not, what do we call? Maybe he doesn't know what he did. You see the point? Mm-hmm. So MPP guys stop jubilating and behaving as if maybe it is their effort that bring or squash this decision. Greetings to everybody over there. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling in as well and for sharing those thoughts with us. Let me read a few of your messages. And this is coming from Master Planner Junior Policy Analyst Kintampo. He says, good morning, Beatrice. Okay, now as citizens, we need to mentally change our ways of thinking. How on earth should you be resting under the train or because you don't have work? I'm very sad watching and listening to that interview with Cookie T. So worrying. I believe most of these people are waiting for the 24 hours economy, the one job, 3 people, 3 shift. President Mahama Edawenim says, anyway, Dr. Baumia is number 3 on the ballot paper. So, yes, that's coming from a Master Planner Junior Policy Analyst Kintampo. We do have another caller on the line. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Please, your name, where you're calling us from.
Yeah, good morning, Beatrice.
Good morning,
name is
sir.
Lopez.
Your name is?
I'm calling from Hobart. My name is Lopez. I'm calling from Hobart.
Lopez, yes, sir. Thank you for joining us on the show.
Welcome. Please, I would like to say congratulations to Honorable Nyindam for his victory. I believe the will of the Supreme Court has prevailed. And I think the man will get back to Parliament and do the needful and do what he's expected to do for his constituency. And also, I would like to say a shout out to my boss, Honorable Nyashika from the Ketu South Municipal, who happens to be the chairman of the NPP Ketu South. Please, concerning the happenings in the country, I mean the economy system so far, we may see Mahama is doing well, but looking at how the market prices of every good is going, you could see that the effort of Mahama is something that we are not seeing in the reality. Even though fuel price have reduced, we are still paying the same amount we have been paying during Akufado's time as of today. So we want the government to do something about that. It's very, very important. We want to feel the change in the economy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Lopez, for calling us. Let me read just a couple more of your messages. It says, good morning, Beatrice. The Apex Court has spoken. The law is the law and it is the law. I hope the NPP will not bastardize this and the judiciary in the coming days, because just 2 days ago they called the judiciary unpredictable, and that is coming from Stephen Pen in Wa. Desmond Nadoli says citizens must be awake to fight for what is right in this country, most especially the transport sector. Good morning to Aziz Donla. Okay, let me read this message from Simon Yenwa. He says, good morning, Beatrice. The Supreme Court has spoken in the Nyindam case. And as law-abiding citizens, the NDC has shown maturity in the way it is handling the ruling. Unlike the MPP that resorts to insult, condemnation, and faulting of the judiciary when rulings go against them, the NDC's demeanor in this ruling is worth emulating by the NPP. That is coming from Simon Yen in Wa. Perhaps two more. It says, this is coming from Fafaki Wa. It says, my greetings go to Alhaji Al-Hassan, his wife. Okay, talks about Shamima, also greets Shamima Muslim and says, it would have been a unanimous decision by the Supreme Court on the Kwanta issue if it was the previous NPP government. And there's a message from Prince Henry Koforidia. He says, good morning. We should all support this government to deliver on its promises, because we can't go back to NPP to witness head cut again. Forward ever, backwards never. Regards to Chief of Staff Julius Debra, Prince Henry Koforidia. Thank you all for sending in your messages. A number of you sending us your messages as well through our Facebook feed. Hopefully we are able to bring some of them back to you. But there's a world-class university right here in Ghana, and that's Rosebank International University, a strong South African university and a brand of the ADV Tech Group, Africa's largest private education provider, with 146 schools across 5 African countries and over 100,000 learners, and partly owned by the World Bank through the IFC. Rosebank International University is fully accredited by the South African Qualifications Authority, the British Accreditation Council, GTEC in Ghana, City Guild UK, and Capsicum Canvey Studio. At Rosebank International University, we offer a Doctor of Business Administration, MBA, Master of Science and Master of Philosophy in Digital Marketing, Bachelor of Supply Chain Management, targeting professionals in freight forwarding, customs, and many more. We offer hospitality and culinary arts, available at diploma, undergraduate, and postgraduate levels. Our ICT has BSc Information Technology and Business Systems and IT Computer Application Development, all carefully designed to equip you with the skills and qualifications needed for a successful global career. Our mission is very simple: inspiring excellence. Admissions are now open for January 26. Visit our modern campus at Airport Commercial or Perbia House, Accra, or apply online at www.ruc.edu.gh. Rosebank International University, building global citizens. Now, this Sunday on TV3, we're serving talent and romance back to back, and you don't want to miss a second of it. At 5 p.m., Talented Kids premieres with Ghana's brightest young stars taking the stage, bringing skills, confidence, and unforgettable performances. Then at 8 p.m., Love takes over as the all-new season 15 of Date Rush returns with exciting singles, bold questions, and all the drama you love. Dubbed the Second Chance Edition, it brings back past contestants who left without finding lasting love and gives them a fresh opportunity to reconnect, reflect, and pursue love again. It starts Sunday, the 1st of February, only on TV3. Make a date with us. So yes, you want to join us on Sunday. Now remember that love doesn't always end. Sometimes it just pauses. Now this February, 3FM brings you 3 Lounge, Connect Salon, a Love Month special segment, creating space for ex-lovers to reconnect and new sparks to form. It's real stories and real relationships. Yes, real emotions, real moments, and real love conversations. 3 Lounge, Connect Salon, reconnecting the dots of love, giving love a chance this February. Make a date with 3FM in this month of love. And of course, we're bringing you a lot of love stuff. Sunday, Date Rush, and of course, what we brought you earlier as well. Now, love deserves more than a day. Yes, it deserves an unforgettable escape. This Valentine's, experience the extra vows day escape, an exclusive retreat from February 13 to 15th at the luxurious Chill River Resort in Keta. Join PMX stars Bogdan and Naya as they bring their magnetic chemistry to this serene riverside haven of refined luxury and ultimate moments. Yes, limited slots are available. Book now at mgtix.africa or call 054-788-6258. House Day Escape. Yeah, so there's a lot more for you here, but when we come back, of course, we'll bring you the big issue and some more. And do still send in your comments. We'll read them back to you. Do stay with us. We're back shortly. And you're still here on Newday on TV3. Welcome to The Big Issue. My name is Beatrice Edu. This morning, we'll be looking into the Pandai election issue and the fact that yesterday, I did tell you from morning, that the Supreme Court yesterday, by a 4-1 majority decision, said or quashed the Tamale High Court's decision earlier that ordered for a rerun of the Pandai parliamentary election. And remember that the petition was filed earlier in November by the NDC, the governing NDC, and said that there were some irregularities within the election. The information that came out as of last year was that 41 out of the 152 polling stations had issues with irregularities, and the court, Tamale High Court, earlier quashed the election and asked for a rerun of that parliamentary election, and the MPP took it to the apex court, the Supreme Court, and yesterday we had the judgment coming in which quashed the earlier decision by the Tamale High Court. And already we've heard the lawyers of the governing NDC saying that it is likely that they will go to challenge this very decision. In fact, yesterday, after the court's judgment, the declaration of the judgment, we saw the Majority Chief Whip, Nelson Roxin Dapiamapo, indicating that the party was grieved by that decision. And of course, you would expect that the minority in Parliament will be rejoicing over this. And so we'll be going into this and moving forward what needs to be done. We'll also bring you that conversation about the attack on our journalists in the Northeast region and the stakeholders who have been speaking and what needs to be done to stop this increasing trend of attacks on journalists. We'll be going into that as well. Once again, thank you very much for joining us on the program. I will be having the video call with us, Mr. Kofi Bento, who is private legal practitioner. He's also Vice President of Imani Africa. Of course, I do have right here in the studio with me, Madam Rodelyn Imoro Ayana, public interest advocate, and we'll be starting our conversation very shortly. I would also have with us Amma Pratt, who is lawyer and the lady in charge of the Vice President's media, and we would also have with us political analyst Samuel Lefriye join us via video call. But let's watch some of the lawyers and their reactions in court yesterday, immediately after the Supreme Court judgment. Actually, Matthew Nyendam, the MPP's Member of Parliament for the area, who has now been reinstated per this decision by the Supreme Court.
2012, I was elected and I served the people 2 terms. They know whom I am and I'm serving them honestly. So unfortunately, what happened, I give glory to God. In my life, whatever happens, I think that is ordained to happen. So I'm not going to run away from what happened. But I know very well that the people gave me the mandate. And by the grace of God, God is alive. My God is alive. Yes. He will obviously speak for me one day. And he has spoken to me for today. And I'm grateful. I'm going back to Parliament to continue to serve the people. Just like my youth organizer said, we are not serving MPP people in Pandai or NDC people in Pandai or CPP. I'm serving the people of Pandai. Sure. That's what I'm doing. And every single individual in Pandai, unless you are excessively partisan, you like Matthew's services. Sure. Yes. That's the man. That's our choice. So obviously, I am happy, but the Bible says, touch not my anointed, and do my prophet no harm. Yes. So I am grateful to the Supreme Court for making that work come to pass today, because I am serving my people, and I'm anointed to lead them. So shall it be.
And today is the day the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice in it.
Amen. Indeed, but the NDC is saying that once the ruling is out, it will be out in February 2nd. And you go back to they're saying that this is the last 7 years of them.
That is their choice. I cannot challenge that. But I strongly believe that whatever be the case, I will lead the people of God.
And I watched Matthew Nyendam. He is the MPP Member of Parliament for the Pandai constituency in the northern region, and we're bringing you a lot more reactions in the course of this conversation. But perhaps I should start with you, Madam Rodelyn Imorayana. I mean, last year there were so many issues that came after the Tamale High Court decided to order for a rerun of this parliamentary election. But before you share your thoughts with us, let me say that we do have a video call by we're joined actually by Dr. Samuel Efriye, who is a political analyst. Doc, if you can hear me, good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, good morning, and to you and also your cherished viewers and listeners, and also to the panelists.
I'll be coming to you very shortly, but I wanted to get the first thoughts of Madam Rodelyn Imorayana of the things that happened, and now we have the Supreme Court caution the earlier decision of the Tamale High Court.
Good morning to our cherished viewers across the globe, and also good morning to all Ghanaians, and good morning to the three of us here. I think that when I heard of the Supreme Court ruling, I was really excited. I was excited not because it had been quashed per se, but because this was something that in the past we would have said, oh, it's going to be this way. It's either going to be 5-0, 7-0, you know, for the state, of course. But in this instance, we saw that the Supreme Court had decided that it was not a good case and it was quashed. So I was excited that for once we have all been surprised by the outcome, because I feel that the NDC might have been expecting that they would win, and the MPP, I'm sure, were also expecting that because they did it before, it would be the same. So definitely it would go towards the NDC, but it didn't. It came back to the MPP. Elections are not won just by the votes and whatnot, but by irregularities within the process. And for me, when this case came up, I think I was one of the few people who said that I thought that it was not necessary. Looking at the numbers that the NDC has in Parliament and looking at that particular constituency, this is a constituency that is almost like a swing constituency. The NDC wins there sometimes, the MPP too has won sometimes. And when you look at the balance and you look at the differences in votes, especially when it comes to the presidential votes, it's sometimes like 50 point, something, and somebody gets 49 or something. So it's quite close. So, and it's one of the constituencies also that you would find a presidential candidate winning and then the MP losing. You understand? And so sometimes you have to look at those things. And this was one of those situations where everybody thought that because the MPP, the NDC candidate, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, had won the presidential votes, then automatically the parliamentary votes must also go to the NDC. It didn't happen that way. And we are told that there were some irregularities, and they wanted that rectified. But thankfully, after the High Court had brought out its ruling, it favored another rerun for things to be put right. But the Supreme Court, in its wisdom, I guess, feels that 41 out of that number, 41 polling stations, right, out of the larger number.
Out of 152.
Out of 152, and probably looking at the data and looking at the numbers that make up this 152 polling stations was such that it wouldn't make any difference. So it was best to let the MP continue. And we should also be guided by the fact that even when the NDC was asking for the MP to leave the Parliament House, the Speaker said that it was rather premature and stated some articles and some acts to support that for him to stay. So you guys understand that there were people who were genuinely concerned and genuinely had this feeling that there was no need, and that once what's his name, Yamidi was there.
Matthew
Yindam, well, was there. He was in the right place. So I am excited about it. At least the judiciary is working again. We're no longer looking at 5-0, 6-0, and all those things. But people are beginning to, at least, let's get people begin to have some faith in our judicial system, to know that, yes, now when things go to the Supreme Court, we will get people sitting down, not with emotions, not with any partisan minds and stuff. And I'll say it, plain, that those were the days that we used to think that our CJ was partisan. We used to think that the Supreme Court was political and all that. But it seems that we've just started with a new CJ, and I think this is one of his major political cases that the CJ has dealt with. And this is the way it has gone. So we hope that it would continue that way, and that we'll have more, what shall I say, more faith.
And results that seem to show the independence of the judiciary.
Yes. Definitely, it's showing that we believe that there are some independent minds in the judiciary.
You said earlier that from the beginning you thought that this wasn't necessary. So do I hear you say that you thought that going to court in the first place was just for the politics of it?
For me, at the beginning, yes. I think I sat here and I said that I felt that the NDC was not stretched. With just 100 and something, which even gives them 2/3, and then looking at the way we wanted the country to move, there was no need for this kind of distraction. That's the way I saw it. I read a lot about the history of that area and the candidates that the NDC had brought in and the previous wranglings that made NDC to lose some seats and stuff like that. And I felt that at that moment, or at this moment in our history, once they had gotten the 2/3, it wasn't that they should be complacent, no, but this was one seat that I felt that let it go. Because there are about 7 other seats that I think the NDC wants to run after. And I am saying that if the EC had done its job well, this wouldn't have happened. So something definitely went wrong with the EC supervision. And so if there's anyone to answer questions, it should be the EC. What happened? What went wrong? How did this whole irregularity take place? So I am happy that this is the way it has gone. It makes governance now look real.
I'm coming to you, Madam Amapat, and let me say again that she's press secretary and also spokesperson for the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. Good morning to you. Welcome once again.
Good morning. Good morning.
Perhaps I should start from here. The Vice President has been touring a number of ministries and agencies. Yeah. Aside from what she's told us on record, really, what will be her own assessment of things going on within the places that she's visited?
Well, perhaps we should start with the rationale, the reason why she's doing what she's doing. Briefly, if I may. I think that as Vice President of the Republic, she's been given, some ministries under her wing that she directly supervises, for lack of a more technical term. So those would be the gender ministry, the education ministry, the health ministry, And then, of course, we know that she also has oversight responsibilities over military and, that sector as well, the justice system, I call it. Right. So the thinking was that over time, what has existed is that you go to your boss as minister and you go and brief, and in those interactions, the minister might be accompanied by his deputy minister. If you are lucky, you'd have perhaps the chief director show up with the minister to meet the boss, to have that kind of interaction. However, Her Excellency Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman thought to do it another way. She's interested in the whole ministry. She wants to meet the staff of the ministry. She wants to know how things are going in the ministry, She wants to come and assess for herself, the look and feel, to touch, and know exactly what is happening. So instead of sit down and wait for 1 or 2 persons at the top hierarchy of the ministry to show up at her doorstep, she's moving. That's the rationale here. So we started with those specific ministries under her watch, the 3. We did that as phase 1. And then for phase 2, we did the ministers that are new. They have never been ministers before. They would have very peculiar challenges. We did that. Now we've broadened up, the scope. Also, I would say this, as and when there's an issue, like what happened at the transport ministry, immediately Her Excellency halted all of her day's activities, showed up there. Thankfully, that problem has been resolved.
It's still ongoing. There's still a problem with the transport sector. Yesterday we were at the stations. We saw the queues.
The difficulties in the transport sector, we know that it's a problem. It's decades old. Since this issue has come, I've been tracing it all the way back to independence, our colonial time. The structure itself, it's a whole problem. But we had very peculiar, very disruptive challenges that are not what it was when it was happening. What happened in December, very early days of January, we are not experiencing that anymore. As for the huge, big problems that have existed for decades, those ones still persist. And hopefully, with Her Excellency's intervention, with all of the sector ministries involved, with all of the stakeholders, the unions, the transport unions, the passenger unions involvement, we will have a holistic resolution sometime, in the future, our present future, all of us hope for that. But in the interim, the queues are not what they were, in the beginning of the month or towards the end of the year. So we have had some resolution, to that problem. But the last places we've been to have been the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry. We've been to the Energy and Green Transitions Ministries. And those were success stories, to hear from the Energy Minister. He did a presentation to present to us all the decisions that have gone into us feeling it directly in our pockets. When you go to the petrol pumps, the experience is not what it used to be. That success story, to be able to relay it to the boss and say thank you for all the role that you played, from perhaps drafting our manifesto to where we are today, where we are feeling it when we go to the fuel pumps, all of those engagements, to listen to the Lands Minister speak about his challenges with Galamsey, to speak about his successes with Galamsey, to speak about ways in which the executive can support him, to perhaps shock more success, as all of us are hoping that he would in that specific sector. I would say that it's graceful leadership, it's impactful leadership, and all of us as Ghanaians are happy for where it's going.
You're
so
happy
far.
for where it's going so far. Now to the parliamentary election. Yesterday, the Supreme Court quashed the Tamale High Court earlier decision, which ordered for a rerun of that election. Monitoring what happened even prior to the court's decision, would you agree with those who say that perhaps the evidence was all written on the wall, the 21 days argument of the minority, the jurisdiction of the High Court at the time, and all of that?
I mean, I would say that for any judicial process, for any judicial process that pans out the way this one is panning out, as a Ghanaian, I'm excited. I have to say, I enjoy the process as much as I enjoy the outcomes. It's important. We are building a democracy. And so the process is crucial. We need to have confidence and trust in a process that is fair, in a process that is independent, in a process that is not sort of sanctioned by the executive. This decision didn't go our way. Clearly.
Yeah.
It didn't. But I'm sitting here and I'm saying that I'm happy about it. Mm-hmm. Because what it means is that even if we have issues with the decision, and of course we would have issues with the decision, there's a process for redress, and we would use that process. We are happy with every outcome that is steeped in fairness, judicial fairness. And so, like the Honorable Roxanne Dofia Makpo has been saying, like Mr. IT and
that's
Rashid
Tanko,
like he has been saying, there are issues that need redress, and we will do that. What did the High Court say? The High Court said the scale and the nature of the irregularities, as they saw at the time, they felt, went to the roots of the election results. That's crucial. If you have any election results that is steeped in irregularities by the High Court's estimation on a scope on a scale, on a nature that goes to the results of the elections. That is not for me to say. That's for all of us to agree that this is an election that needs to be taken a look at again. Because all of us know the importance of elections, how it's crucial to the rule of law, how this democracy that we are all nursing needs to be nurtured, right? And upheld in such a way that we are confident and we can trust in what we have.
But the Supreme Court didn't think that 41 polling station irregularities could determine the outcome of 152.
The Supreme Court hasn't said all that.
The Supreme Court is yet to bring the full ruling on the 6th of February this year. And one of the things that people are considering, for instance, is also the jurisdiction as well as the 21-day, all of that.
I think that the Supreme Court's issue is strictly one of procedural compliance. That's it. That's the beginning and the end. Procedural compliance. You have 21 days within which to take an action. You fail to take an action within that 21 days. Therefore, that's the end. We are not going to look into everything else. This is what it is. And, as somebody that's still, a student, of the law, and a student of the Constitution, and a student of processes, and a student of democracy, and a student of the rule of law, this is what it is. Procedural compliance is important. It's key, right? We are waiting for the 6th of February when we get to know the nitty-gritty, where we can now dot the I and cross the T's of the reasoning, perhaps the deeper reasoning of the Supreme Court. My side says we are waiting for that. Based on that, we will know what next to take. As it stands now, the issue is one. It says, what procedural compliance, we did not comply by the 21 days. The arguments about whether, that happened as a fault of ours or that happened as a fault of somebody else, what I am saying is that the main issues persist. The main issues of irregularities, the main issues of we literally relocated a collation center without all active stakeholders and participants being aware. The main issues of the results are contested in 41 polling stations. The main issues of there are results that are still set to be illegible. So those issues persist. Now, are we happy to sweep all of those issues under the carpet of procedural compliance? And that will be a legal conversation, a legal debate that I'm very happy to wait to listen to. And like I've been saying, in this administration, we have gone to school. We've been taken to school over and over and over and over again about, the Constitution and how it works. Every day I learn new things. Every day I experience new arguments. Every day I'm faced with superior legal arguments. And I'm happy for the process. I want to know if all of these irregularities that go to the roots of the election results can be swept under the carpet of, procedural compliance. That's an interesting legal debate that, again, I'm happy to experience and learn from. But the issues persist. And like my side have said, those that are directly responsible for the case or those that are directly dealing with the issues are saying, let's wait and see.
Let's wait and see. Yesterday, we heard Dafia Mekpo, the majority chief whip, indeed saying that the party was grieved by the decision of the Supreme Court. The reason he gave that indication that there would be a possibility of review. There are those who argue that there's a slim chance of the NDC being able to overturn this decision. Is that something that concerns you?
I keep saying that I'm happy for the process to play out. The NDC is not a side that would interfere. The NDC is not a side that would use its executive powers to try and lord it over what the actual process has to be. The NDC is that side that is suddenly loosened, in the law courts. It didn't used to happen, right? So I'm happy for the process to take its full course. At the end of the day, Ghana will be the winner, regardless whether the NDC wins in court or the NPP wins in court. We are building a democracy. Right? We are building a democracy. We are building a country that is solid, steeped on solid ground. And so at the end of the day, whichever side wins, Ghana is the winner. But I'm saying that there are real issues that needs to be looked at. And for me, people say that, the NDC already has an overwhelming majority, what would this one seat do? Then what's the point of elections? Then what's the point of elections? Then what's the point of this democracy that we are all shouting about? If the NDC deserves all the seats in parliament, give it to us. Then what are we doing? So for me, it's not about the number of seats the NDC already has it's about the will of the people. If the people within a constituency decide that we want the NDC to represent us, let the will of the people work.
Let the will of the people work, you say. I'm coming to you, Dr. Samuel Efriye, as a political scientist. What's your interpretation of the Supreme Court's decision and the implications for us?
It's quite interesting to see some of these things happen. You realize that the Chief Justice leadership is now being put in a test to see how the courts are run in terms of justice and fairness as well. So some of these things, when things are being sent to the court, I always say that in Ghana, one of the best institutions that we should safeguard is the courts, because if any issue comes in, whatever the issue, the court is there to settle. And we have various levels of the courts. So if a high court has given judgment and the process has led to the Supreme Court, fine, I think that is how things are supposed to run. And it comes along with these kind of perceptions about our court, especially the Supreme Court, where some people think that it's been one-sided, others also think the other ones. But this is a test. And some of us are observing afar to see how the judiciary tends to make the judiciary as it was some time ago. So we are all, and this is a test case. And we hope that the subsequent ones that will be coming, we will see how the court is being seen. As the NDC and people will say that the law is the law, the judiciary is working. Yes, they have always been working, but maybe some issues cropped up within their time, or maybe some kind of the period of times. But we believe that I'm talking about the new Chief Justice, and that is what we people are skeptical whether it was a political position, it was this or that. So, and having these kind of signs is a way of creating the hope, especially the other side that thinks that it was a political oriented appointment, and this might give sides to the government of the day. So it's a very good start, and we believe that if it is continued, let the law be the law, as my co-panelists and everyone saying, let the law be the law. And I think that it will make our democracy more attractive and more confident for Ghanaians to believe in our courts. And that is good. But you can realize that the Pandai seat, is something that I side with one of the panelists that was saying that it was not necessary, because you realize that the number of votes and the polling stations that were supposed to fight for, and the margins, more than 3,000, it could be something. And this is what I would like to suggest to the NDC, that you have to tread cautious. It's not everything that you have to jump in and tend to make it more partisan and more political and think that you can just jump in. If you're not careful, the people will say, hey, this you have to stop. So they have to move strategically, and they have to calculate their risk as well. If not, and they tend to be more political because they are in government, and you might think that you can just claim any seat when there's any hope or any opportunity, then you can end up having a point of situation where you might not see your way out in something. So I think that this should serve as a caution for the NDC to be a little bit cautious about where they easily jump in, tend to play it, and some of their comments. Also, if you are not careful and it goes to court, it might also come out along with certain kind of perception towards the judiciary. So it's a good attempt, and we believe that the politics that comes along with this, we all will learn and try to improve our politics and at the same time but I think that the Supreme Court is trying to exert her authority in terms of some of these issues. And I believe that it will create a lot of hope and interest for our judiciary.
It will create a lot of hope and interest for our judiciary. You talk about the need for the governing NDC to move strategically, but I don't know whether you heard also Madam Amma Pratt there, her explanation being that there's a need to ensure that democracy works and it works properly, and also the need for the will of the people to be represented correctly. So if the NDC felt that indeed there was or there were irregularities in 41 out of the 152 constituencies in polling stations, in order to ensure that the will of the people are properly or is properly represented, what is wrong with going to court to challenge what you think is wrong?
Well, there's nothing wrong of going to court to have your grievances being heard to and tried to the court to settle. But what I'm saying is that in these constituency or these elections, we're talking about numbers. And numbers are the key to determine whether most of the time there has to be a way around, there has to be, because when you look at the gap between what they are claiming for and using that to overturn all the various polling stations. You see, it's about what your evidence to prove that the polling stations, because every situation happens at the polling station. And when the court, I think that the judgment are not, maybe not centered on, is yet to have, we are yet to have access to the ruling, but you cannot seriously give an evidence that there was a total irregularities toward, that is all the polling stations. There were some, and the some, you look at the numbers, whether it can change the will of the people. At the same time, if the irregularities that happened was all over the polling station, that is also another situation. So where the irregularities happen, and the numbers that will affect the outcome of whoever represents the constituency is what matters mostly. And this is where mostly the lawyers and the judges look at it. And that is why I'm saying that the NDC need to be cautious that if they see anything small, or maybe they think that they can use the government in power of the day or trying to use it, that is why I'm trying to draw the attention. The elections, we cannot avoid of irregularities, but at the end of the day, does it affect the outcome of the people who represent them? And these are the numbers that we look at, and also the number of polling stations. So if these things are done, if for whatever being the case, if most of the polling stations, there were irregularities and it would have affected the outcome, I think that the Supreme Court will not have come to that conclusion. So here, the dynamics are different, and every constituency, the issues are also different. And I believe that this coming out, there's nothing wrong going, but if you are going, you need to be very cautious, because the perception, assuming that the ruling have gone to the other side, then you see that people will say that the court is on this side, and then this and that, and then the politics will come out of it. But looking at the facts, I think that those are the judges or the Supreme Court judges are not, when you look at their background, the experience, so they know what the law says, and they are also the law at some time. So I believe that it was a good judgment, and as I was saying earlier, the NDC need to be cautious in some of these situations when it happens, because it has come to that if there's any rerun or if there's any kind of election that comes along, the NDC think that because they have some experience, so they can easily be swayed by the government in power. At the same time, they're thinking of using resources and other things to take away some constituency. And that is why if you don't have a good case, you don't have a good situation in terms of how things are done, and you think that you can jump in to claim any seat, that is what I'm saying, that the NDC need to be cautious. They have to move strategically. They have to move on well with some kind of seats that they think that it can easily be taken away from the MPP. So I'm not just discounting the issue about going to court, but I think that they have to be very cautious, as I was saying earlier.
They have to be very cautious. Let me acknowledge the presence of Mr. Kofi Bento, who is lawyer and vice president of Imani Africa. Mr. Bento, I'm coming to you in a jiffy, but let me ask you perhaps this one question before I come to you, Mr. Kofi Bento. And I'm referring to you, Dr. Samuel Efriye. You talked about what this means, as in this judgment means for the country politically and in terms of the governance of the country. But there are those who are also criticizing the minority that when judgments go well, you praise the court and say that everything is working. Yet when it goes against you, then you begin to call the court and the judges names. What's your view on that as well, and what that also means for us moving forward?
You know, sometimes it's so interesting. That's the politicians and politics for you, you know. When it goes to your side, you see how you smile, you see how you become jubilated. And I think yesterday we had some kind of the MPP jubilating here and there. But sometimes they will say that the court is not this, the court is that, you know, when you ask them to justify. The same happens in the NDC when the MPP was in power, when things go. So decisions of the court are always seen in a political difference, in the political perspective. And even the normal courts that we go as individuals, when it goes on your way, the way you will see the court to be a court of competent jurisdiction. But if it goes on the other side, then we will tend to induce, or we tend to conclude that the judges have taken this, the judges have done that. So in the normal process of ruling at our various courts, no matter the level, there will be some kind of perspective and a kind of views towards whether it goes on your side or it doesn't go on your side. But at the end of the day, the thing that will need to be seen is that, was the law being implemented? Was the law being said about the situation? That is all. And I like the way that this theme goes, the law is the law. That should be the guiding principle of each and every one at any situation. And you know, when the law is being implemented, or maybe the law is being used to make ruling or judgment, you see, that's why we have various courts. If you have any differences, as we said about the Honorable Damafia Court saying that they are going to look at the case, and then these are all political. If they want to go for appeal, they will add some numbers to the existing one for the numbers to be reviewed. So the politics, yes.
Yes, I'm sorry. I'll have to come back to you very briefly. Mr. Bentol is actually joining us briefly, so I need to come to him now to share his thoughts with us before he takes leave of us. Good morning to you, Mr. Kofi Bentol. Thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
I know the Supreme Court's the details of the judgment will be coming out on the 6th of February, and we'll get to hear and know the reasoning behind this decision giving us yesterday. But looking at the circumstances and the information out so far, what's your own interpretation of what we heard yesterday as a lawyer?
Well, I think that is what the Supreme Court is there for. Where somebody feels aggrieved by a ruling or a judgment, they have, a right, inherent right, to go to the Supreme Court and have the Supreme Court take another look at the issue. When people say the law is the law, sometimes it gives the wrong impression as if the law is something that is cast in stone, as if it is mathematics. The law is the law, but it is interpreted by human beings. And those human beings, whether they are judges or not, can make mistakes. That is why we have, appeals courts and we have the Supreme Court. And when those mistakes are made, even on the same law, it can be overturned. So people have a right to do so, and that is what happened. The point that we all have to appreciate is that when the matter is before a court, as in the Supreme Court or any other court where the ruling hasn't come out, people should not go ahead and act as if they know how it's going to turn out. So for me, this is the law at work. The Supreme Court has done its job. And what it has done is not strange. It has overturned the ruling of a lower court because there were mistakes. And we all move on. The problem is where people take the ruling of a lower court, which has been challenged, and then they proceed as if that ruling cannot change. In this particular instance, the EC and Parliament acting as if, the matter cannot change, and then going ahead to arrange a by-election. Today, as we speak, whatever money was spent on that by-election is wasted. So we all have to appreciate that elections are not won at the polling station.
they are won if they are challenged in a court of law, because the court would declare who the winner actually is. If we understand these things, we would all be better off for it. So that's how we should see this present ruling. And in future, people should wait for the judges to conclude the matter before they take steps.
And I did say that the details of the ruling will be coming out on the 6th. But prior to the filing of the petition at the court and the decision of the Tamale High Court to order for a rerun, there were already issues. 41 polling stations apparently having irregularities. That's 41 out of 152. And after the Tamale High Court also decided, as in ordered for a rerun, there were also issues of the timing of the filing and the jurisdiction of the court as well. And as much as we await the details of the ruling, to what extent, as a lawyer, do you believe these could have influenced that 4-1 majority decision of the Supreme Court yesterday?
The decision is based on the facts as were presented before the courts. It is based on the evidence that was presented before the courts, and then it's based on the law applied to those facts. Now, things happen, and on radio and TV, and generally speaking, people can say what they like and what they want. But when you go before a judge in a court, you will be forced to back whatever statements you are making, whatever claims you are making, okay, and bring the proof for it to be examined. So I can give you my view. If you have 40 out of 100, okay, giving you problems, clearly that's a minority. But if those 40 are a sample, okay, that changes everything, because if that's the sample, then it's possible that there were more than 40. So the thing that people must appreciate is that in open commentary like what we are doing now, you will never know the actual facts. But in a proper court, you will be forced to bring the facts and the evidence. And when the judges look at it, they will apply the law, and then you get the ruling that you got. So we should all be, tempered, or we should manage some of the things that we say when we don't have the full facts. I do believe that the facts as were presented before the Supreme Court and the evidence that was adduced to back those facts is the reason why they have arrived at the judgment that they have arrived at. So some of us who have all these, especially non-lawyers who comment freely, should appreciate that when a court goes through the facts, it has superior information, and its ruling, therefore, is above anybody's contemplation or general discussions and general pronouncements.
Yesterday, we heard the Majority Chief Whip Nelson Roxin Dapia-Mekpo saying that the NDC was grieved by this decision of the Supreme Court. And in addition to him, we heard other people giving the indication that there's a possibility of a review. Looking at what has transpired so far, do you foresee an overturning of this decision by the Supreme Court?
I personally do not foresee an overturning of the decision, mainly because of the technicality of the review. A review means there will be 7 judges, which is 4 plus 3. So if you have a 4-1, okay, and it's not likely that the 4 will change their mind except some new evidence is adduced, then you are going to have a 4 against 3, so you're going to lose again. So based on that mathematics alone, I think they will advise themselves to not go for a review. But sometimes the case can be so strong, and where there is new evidence, okay, they will have to avail themselves of the opportunity to go for a review. And when that happens, we should all wait, because you don't know what they will claim before the judges. And if the ruling comes, we should all have the magnanimity to agree that, they have looked at it and they've come to their conclusion. So it is possible, but I don't think it is probable.
You don't think it's probable? Parliament is resuming...
I said it's possible, but I don't think it's probable. It's not likely because of the 4 who ruled in one direction.
Parliament is resuming on Tuesday, and this judgment is already in. What should be the legal course, as it were, after this judgment, although the full judgment is not in yet, in terms of the reasoning?
Well, the decision is in. So the full judgment is just details of how the decision arrived. So since the decision is in, the matter is settled. All right? Now, what Parliament should have done, which is what I said from the beginning, was to have held its hands and not changed anything until this decision came out. Now, having gone ahead and done all the things that they done, they have to now reverse it to the status quo ante, reverse things to what they were before, okay? And that is going to create some situation for them, but they don't have a choice. The decision is in. The reasoning behind the decision is one thing. It doesn't change the decision, so they have to act according to the decision. So when Parliament opens, they have to restore Mr. Nyindam, and they have to reverse everything that they have done. In fact, if there was anything that was due him that they didn't give him, they have to give him. What this decision means is that he was never removed as an MP. That is what it means in law. So all those things that they did were in error.
So it wouldn't require the lawyers of Mr. Nyindam to first serve Parliament first with this judgment before this restoration you talk about?
No, of course, they have to be served formally. Okay? Sometimes the court will itself advance it. Sometimes the Speaker can take judicial notice of it, depending on the circumstance. But the lawyers have to do their due diligence and properly inform Parliament that this is the position of the Supreme Court, and therefore their client was never removed. And therefore, they should proceed to restore him to the position he was in. That they have to do.
There are people who say some of these issues that come out in court really help to strengthen our democracy. But looking at the circumstances that surround some of these cases, what should be the lesson for us really moving forward as a lawyer?
Everything that happens according to due process and the rule of law strengthens the democracy. In fact, even the negative things, they do strengthen the democracy. We will learn from it. So what we have to do in the first place is to maintain this due process and rule of law. The people who rise up against due process and rule of law are our true enemies. That's the first thing we need to know. Whether it goes for you or against you, we are all better off under this kind of due process and rule of law. Okay? And the lesson that we must learn is the lesson that some of us were speaking about from the beginning. That elections are not won at polling stations. The polling station will do the counting and will do the preliminary declaration. If it is not challenged, you can go ahead and then say you have won. But immediately that is challenged, you must understand that you are just one cog in the wheel of many cogs. And the matter will be determined in the court. So you should all wait for the courts to make that determination. We have had 30 years of this kind of experience, but somehow people still don't learn, and we keep on saying things like elections are won at the police station. It's not true. And this is another reason why we all have to step back a bit. Whenever we have an election, let's understand that what comes out of polling station counting is the prima facie result. Okay? It is the first draft of what the electorate believes or what the electoral commission believes is the outcome. If it is not challenged, if it is above board, then so be it. But immediately it is challenged, we all have to learn that we have to wait and let the courts make a determination. The lesson also is that we have to develop systems which allow for adjudication within time so that that determination can be made quickly, which is why I, for one, agree with the Constitutional Review Commission that we should move the election forward to November so that there will be time for adjudication and then these things will be settled before inaugurations happen. So we all have to admit, we all have to accept, we all have to find a way to submit to this proposition that the judges are the supervisors of every democracy, and until they have spoken, it is not final.
My last question to you, what should be the kind of politicking in such areas where there is contestation of election results?
It should be just observing the law, okay? Whoever you are, whatever politicking you are doing or campaign you are doing, do it within the law. Again, if you go into an election and you win, if you are not challenged, go ahead and then declare yourself a winner and take your office. But if you are challenged, do it within the law. Allow the legal process to go through. And while it's going through, hold your hand. That is what the rule of law is. And all of us are better served, if we submit to it.
Mr. Bento, thank you so much for having time to speak to us.
Thank you, too.
And you heard there and watched him, Kofi Bento, he's lawyer and vice president of Imani Africa, sharing his legal perspectives with us on this Pandai issue and the decision of the Supreme Court to quash an earlier ruling by the Tamale High Court, which ordered for a rerun of that parliamentary election. I'm coming back to you, Madam Ayana. I did say earlier that Parliament resumes on Tuesday. What are your expectations?
Well, I don't think anything is going to happen. First and foremost, the celebration within the MPP camp is open, it's out there. You saw people jubilating in the area in Bandai, and of course the usual press conferencing and whatnot. I think that Parliament will be cool. This shouldn't create any tension. I mean, no matter what happens, and the MPP still holds 87 and the NDC has 2/3. You understand? So if you win a case that is already in your yard, there's nothing that should make you go out there and try to show any form of bravado or anything. So I think I'm expecting that they'll behave themselves. I am really expecting, because of late we've had so many things happening in Parliament that is not pleasant. And it all has to do with elections, even internal elections within political parties is creating problems within Parliament. And I'm expecting that this time round, we will not have that. Our parliamentarians must be serious. They're in there for serious business. And therefore, this has happened. The country has accepted or whatever. If NDC decides to go for an appeal, it is their right, within their rights to do that. And as such, the jubilation, yes, you can jubilate in your small corner, in your small minority corner, but let parliamentary activities go on.
Let parliamentary activities go on.
But I wanted to ask
Kofi Bento?
No, Amma, about the vice president's, especially in the transport sector. I think that one of the places that you should be talking to or looking at is the transport, is the roads ministry. Because if you look closely at what is happening, it is because there are very few roads leading to almost everywhere. So it's one road and that road leads to almost everywhere. But if we could have some other roads, at least that will ease the congestions on our road. Because if you take from 37, you're going to Medina. Now it's a bit better because you can take the Bahama Road and go through and find your way out. But then if you're going to Kaswa and those other places, you have to go through just one. And that same road leads to Cape Coast, that same road leads to... So the congestion will definitely be there. But if we could get some more inner roads, then maybe it will help. That's what I think.
I wanted to get your thoughts, your final thoughts perhaps on this before we move on. And I will get that of... yes, you can respond to her, please.
I have two things. So, good call, clearly. Her Excellency, Professor Nana Jino-Pukwajiman herself, speaks about all of the relevant sectors being at that table for that conversation. So, definitely the roads ministry is in there, in that conversation. Okay. But to also say that then this government is ahead of this conversation, because we've heard of the big push, which is, primarily targeted at roads and infrastructure.
Those are major roads. We are talking of inner city roads.
Now, when the conversation started, you recall me talking about tracing the problem all the way to colonization, where our roads were structured in such a way that it goes to where the resources, and then it takes you to the exit point. So we have peculiar challenges as a country. I dare say, as one of many developing countries, where our whole setup, our whole structure, our whole existence was to the benefit or the enjoyment of external forces, right? Where we were producing so that our produce would be sent elsewhere. And roads were structured to aid that process. Things were done to aid just that process. Today, we can have conversations around how do we build our infrastructure to help us, to help our development internally, which is what I think essentially at the heart of what Madam is saying is the request. And I'm saying that don't worry, this government is ahead of that curve, and that conversation is being had. And yes, good call, it will be listened to. To comment on, all the admonitions that have come to the NDC government, and to say that I am a little surprised by it, because as I sit here, as I've heard the Honorable Roxanne Dofia-Makos speak, as I've heard computers speak, as I've heard everybody from the NDC side speak to this matter, our voice has been one. the rule of law. Nobody within the NDC has spoken about acting outside of the jurisdiction of the justice system. Nobody. So when I hear calls of the NDC should calm down, the NDC should be, I get a little confused. Are we having the same conversation? You heard me this morning speak about the fact that even though it seems as though we lost, I'm happy about the outcome because ultimately Ghana wins. The NDC is set on this reset agenda. And for us, the judiciary is a key stakeholder, key component of any reset, that can happen. The NDC is that government that is losing in court. It wasn't the case before. We were always losing in opposition. That is the truth, right? Today we are in government. There has been no executive interference. There's been and we are still losing in court. So give the NDC its flowers. This is a government that is very committed to the rule of law. But I keep insisting, the rule of law itself, within the spirit of the rule of law, says that let the process work. So all Roxanne, the Honorable, and everybody else is saying that we will follow due process. We are waiting for the 6th of February. Let all the details be known to us. If the details are not in conformity with the will of the people of Ghana, the NDC as a government side, as a responsible political party, will take it further. Ultimately, do you not want a side that works for your interests? At the end of the day, it's the will of the people that we have to uphold. We have to uphold that. Just a small, and I don't even know if I should, but I will, a small disagreement with Mr. Bentil on, he said something about elections are not won at the polling.
Yes, but at the courts, you need to challenge it.
I completely disagree with him. I agree with our former EC chair, Mr. Afarijan, when he says that elections are won and lost at the polling station. I agree with him. Because all of this conversation would be moot. We would not be having all of this conversation if everything had happened at the polling center as should have happened. When we go and cast our votes as Ghanaians, we expect the process to run as is. That is the reason why a lot of us go and cast our votes and we don't move away. We stand and wait. And we go through that rigorous process of 1, 2, 3, watching that whole process because we believe that our vote will count for something. My excitement about this government is because we are restoring voter confidence. We are letting the Ghanaian know that who you vote for matters. It goes directly to your pocket. When you go to the poll, a fueling station to buy fuel, who you vote for matters in the cost of that fuel, right? How you live, how you experience being a Ghanaian. These things are important. Now, the polling center, the polling station is crucial to this process. The only reason we should end up in a court is when things don't go the way that we want. So for me, that's the beginning. Should be the end. However, of course, if it's not, then we rely on the court system, on the justice system. But I agree, and I hope that all of us will work to make that statement that Mr. Afarijan made, that elections are won and lost at the polling station.
At the polling stations. Dr. Afriyie, let me get your final thoughts on this and your own expectations as well as Parliament resumes on Tuesday. Dr. Afriyie, are you on the line with us? Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
Yes, I'm on the line. Yeah. All right, okay. We're expecting that the Parliament will resume and try to make Parliament as not be as it was. Parliament has been seen as a place of, should I use the word in quotes, a place where there's a lot of confusion and people or things are not done in a way according to, but they say that they have their own party, but our Parliament doesn't have much kind of a good brand in terms of how things are run. Yeah, perspective of our democracy because of previous experience of confusion and people who are throwing blows here and there. Believe that the new dispensation because every Parliament has its own dynamics, and since the this parliament has majority, a super majority from the MP, that is the NDC, I think they can come together and avoid some of these misbehavior or indiscipline in court, because sometimes it's an eyesore to see some of these things happen. We believe that things will work well. The right thing needs to be done. If anybody have any grievances, or as the minority group will always, they will have their way of doing things. But we need to have a good brand for our parliament. And I know that this time the speaker will put his feet down, will try to do things according to parliamentary procedure and allow things to run as parliament should be. So I'm expecting more. I'm expecting more bills. I'm expecting things to change the destiny of the people of this country. And we believe that at the end of the day, Parliament will stand as a true sense of our democracy in relation to the judiciary, as now there's a new leader coming along with to lead the courts. And we have high expectation from our parliamentarians, and they should, in court, behave well.
They should, in court, behave well. Thank you very much, Dr. Samuel Efriye. And I want to move to that issue that shocked us again about the military personnel attacking our correspondent in the Northeast region, Solomon Kanawole, just because he was recording. And over the course of the week, we've been bringing you details of that as well. We've had the Media Foundation for West Africa condemning this and asking for investigations. And also yesterday, the Ghana Journalists Association, led by its president, Albert Jomfo, also held a press conference equally condemning it and asking for the interdiction of the military officials involved, and also any other disciplinary actions that ought to be taken, should be taken against those officials. And we'll bring you that footage from Albert Jomfo's press conference yesterday. But Madam Ayan, I'm coming back to you. This is not the first time. There have been so many attacks on journalists. But before I get your thoughts, though, I think we can watch Albert Jomfo during that press conference yesterday and the details he gave us.
Exercising their powers. Why would they seize his phone after subjecting him to inhuman attack? Seize his phone, flash his phone, so he wouldn't get any information. And even messages that were sent earlier to people on that day were all deleted before the phone was recycled. This is how inhuman some people can be. And this is unacceptable, unlawful, and deeply troubling. It reflects a dangerous disregard for the right of civilians and journalists, and undermines public confidence in the professionalism of the Ghana Armed Forces. The GJ condemned this assault in the strongest terms and calls on the military high command to immediately investigate the incident, identify the personnel involved, and apply appropriate sanctions. We further demand that the matter be treated with the seriousness it deserves, and that the victim is offered protection and support. Attacks on journalists by military personnel, whether in the line of duty or otherwise, are completely intolerable and must not be normalized under any circumstances. We will await the position of the military high command. We are very much keenly and interested in the matter, and we are ready to react and respond to any position they come out with. We hope that they will be very fair, firm, objective, and candid with their position. This is the media they are talking about. They can't use our own media. You can't issue a statement which will be contrary to the truth and expect our people to cover it, to give you the needed mileage. We will await the position of the military high command.
And you watched the Albert Jomfo. He's the president of the Ghana Journalists Association, obviously expressing his disgust about this very incident. And so what we were told by our reporter in the Northeast region is that he was there to record an exercise that was going on with the military. And without a lot of interaction, the attack happened because they disagreed with the fact that he was recording. And I would want us to bring you the narration he gave us. I'll bring you that in the course of the conversation. But I was asking earlier about the fact that this is not the first time that we're seeing journalists being attacked. In fact, other civilians have equally been attacked by soldiers as well. What, in your opinion, is fueling these unprovoked attacks?
It's unfortunate that this has to happen to a journalist. The attacks are not what we want as a country. But then, at the end of it, I'd want to ask how journalists operate outside the main, shall I say, headquarters of the various media houses. If you're a journalist and you are in the outskirts of a particular place, or once you get to a place that is zoned up as a security area, you must report yourself. I don't know if the journalist was able to go and tell the military that, introduce himself. I am so and so, and I'm covering this area, or I'm covering your exercise. Or at least, if you go to the police station, to report yourself, and let them know that I'm in this jurisdiction, so I need for you to look after me. You understand? I don't know if you do that, or they do that. Why are the military in Wali Wali? The military are in Wali Wali because of a fallout of a problem in Boko. And a case that has been resolved, a judgment that has been given, and one side are not happy. During the course of the week, I think that was last week or so, some elements within the Wali Wali enclave threatened to disrupt the free movement of the people coming from Boko, Bolgatanga, towards Tamale and Accra. They threatened mayhem. They threatened to burn tires. They threatened to shoot at buses or attack buses. So the military went in there to keep the peace. This is also at the heart of other things that happened, where I'm trying as much as possible not to open up old wounds, because we are all trying to bring peace to Boko. But I'm just saying that the attack on the journalists is worrisome. But at the same time, one would want to also observe and also say that sometimes some of the journalists, depending on which side of the divide that person is coming from, some are not professional enough. You see, you must exhibit some professionalism and neutrality. I heard that they deleted.
They flashed his phone.
Well, the word I heard was, I don't know about flashing, but I heard that certain portions were deleted. I wish that maybe the army could tell us what was in that. You understand? I'm saying this because there has been so many things happening between Wali Wali, that Wali Wali enclave, affecting the peace and tranquility of the people of Boko. So I can only say that it is wrong for the military to beat up people, to harass people, or to attack journalists, especially, who are supposed to bring out the news and the information governing all these areas so that we'll know what is happening. And I also side with the Ghana Journalists Association, asking that there be investigation and, if possible, prosecution. This is not the first time that this thing has happened. The military beat up people in Garu some time ago. People died out of that. We called for investigations. It never happened. So I think that it's a call also on the military hierarchy to be up and doing. We expect that as soldiers, they know exactly what they're supposed to do. You're not supposed to go and beat up people, harass people, and create more problems. So I will ask that this issue be investigated. And if only they can find the perpetrators, because they've never been found. They beat up people and they are never found. You understand? So, but this time around, let's hope that with a new government in place, maybe the resetting agenda will touch the military top hierarchy to really go into this and to advise the military against those acts. But at the same time also, I would want to take this opportunity to advise the people of Wali Wali. Wali Wali was never part of the problems we were having in Boko. But somehow, some miscreants and some devious elements have brought in Wali Wali, when Wali Wali virtually has nothing to do with the Boko issue. So it is a duty on the Wali Wali inhabitants to flush out these miscreants in their midst that is giving them a bad name and always bringing them trouble. Wali Wali has always been a peaceful place. We've driven from Boko to through Wali Wali to other parts of this country without any incidents until recent, when they decided to make Wali Wali a targeted place to harass and maim Kusasis. So I expect that this whole idea of Wali Wali having a curfew, Wali Wali being molested, by military, will actually make them to stand up and say that enough is enough. It is not our fight, and we will not be brought into this fight only for us to be at the receiving end of brutalities. Once they do that, I am sure that the people of Wali Wali will be enjoying their peace once again. And the rest of us also will be enjoying our peace. Because what is happening and the kinds of pronouncements that are coming from outside that area, it's of a security threat to this country. And the military will do anything that it thinks it has to do to bring peace to that area. So it is unfortunate. It's very unfortunate that this happened to the journalist. I wish we could hear what he has to say and how it happened. Was he standing somewhere? Was he part of it? Like if he was taking pictures, a lot of the time, security work is such that sometimes they don't even want you to capture those pictures. So was he doing that? What did he have in his phone? Did they find anything incriminating in his phone? You get me? I don't know whether he's a native of Mamprugu or he's from somewhere. You understand? I'm a native of Wali Wali or somewhere else. So all of these things will advise us and educate us on why the military did what it did.
Let me get your thoughts as well, Amma Pratt.
Yeah, I mean, as a former media practitioner myself, as somebody who myself has held a camera, held a microphone. Somebody else had a camera, held a microphone and be threatened myself, with physical violence. I get uncomfortable, around such conversations because I know firsthand how traumatic these experiences can be. In my case, nobody touched me. It was just the threat of it, and I remember how I felt. Now, I can imagine then actually being,
subjected to that.
Right. And not by individual, but by the military. You know how we feel about the military and, how... So this is very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. These are things that should go away, from our national discourse. These are the horrors that we do not want to see going forward. I would say, I hope as categorically as my voice would permit, that the media is just as crucial an estate as every other estate of this realm. The media has a crucial role. It continues to play. The media needs to be empowered to continue to play the role that we play. I'm not going to sit here and act like we don't get it wrong sometimes, because we do. We do get it wrong sometimes. We do get it wrong in terms of how we gather our news, in terms of how we interpret the news that falls within our palms, in terms of how, But hey, it's a human institution. We are bound to make mistakes. But I would wish that we are also given the same grace. Look at me saying we.
Once a journalist, forever a journalist, they say.
Journalist, always a journalist.
So I really hope that the same graces that are extended to parliamentarians, the same graces that are extended to every other estate of the realm is extended to the media as well. Let me say that I know that under this administration, the full extent and the full cycle moments for this issue would be arrived at. This is not one that would be left, unchecked. Because somebody was saying, I forgot, one of your panelists was speaking about perception and how it's important and how it's crucial. This goes beyond perception. Somebody has actually been bitten. It's important that we get, yes, it's terrible. It's terrible. But also to caution security agencies and remind, not that they don't know, they know. I know that they know. I know that we have very competent people at the, realms of affairs. I know that they know, but just to remind, that it's important that our law enforcers are seen as our friends. That era of brutality, of that pushing, I don't think we are in that era anymore. And for the managers of our justice institutions to let the message trickle down, I will sit here and say that you can't have it all 100. There'll be a few bad nuts. But the bad nuts are the very ones that would give you the name, be it good or bad, that the whole Ghana will hold you.
So they should deal with the bad nuts?
Definitely deal with the bad nuts.
Let me read quickly the statement from the military high command.
But there's this thing about the military that she's saying. How about the citizens? The respect we must give to authority. Once they say it's a curfew, it means it's a curfew. You go in. You understand? But of late, we are getting people, being recalcitrant. They just feel like they have their own lives to lead and no one can tell them what to do. And those are the things that make the people to come out and start beating you. Because if they say that, look, there's a security threat in this area, everybody, there's a curfew, don't do this. That's it. If they say that we are coming, now they are doing it without any prompting. So they come to search. Just stand by. If you don't have anything, stand by.
So I want to read this and I'll get really 30 seconds of your thoughts on this statement coming from the Ghana Armed Forces. And very briefly, it says that the Ghana Armed Forces is investigating an alleged assault on a journalist, which was reported on Monday, 26 January 2026. The incident was reported to have occurred at the outskirts of Wale Wale in the northeast region, where in recent times there have been reported incidents of attacks on public transport resulting in deaths and injuries. The Ghana Armed Forces wishes to alert the general public that these current happenings in the northeast and upper east regions have resulted in heightened levels of insecurity, which will occasionally necessitate the conduct of military operations without notice. In really 30 seconds, what's your reaction to this statement?
I mean, the Northeast is my adopted home. I say that proudly. And to remind us again of the consequences of unrest in any constituency, in any part of the country. We need development. Ghana, as a country, we are coming from a place that is dark. We are trying to rebuild, to reset. But at the heart of that is security, right? And so it is our individual responsibility as citizens, as journalists, as military, as the executive, to make sure that that security is held with the let me use the word preciousness that it needs, because at the end of the day, without security, we cannot have development, we cannot have progress.
Madam Ayana, 30 seconds.
Well, it's the same thing. It's security. And so I would say that we should respect the security agencies. When they come out there, they are also human. And you must realize that sometimes they also lose their lives. And if they are not careful, if they don't show any form of high-handedness, at the end of the day, they also get caught up in those things. So we should at least abide by the laws and make sure that they will also do their job. But if we don't and we want to show bravado, the end is that they have a better way of showing the bravado.
So rights and responsibilities.
Exactly.
Rights and
Dr. Samuel Efie, you have about 40 seconds to tell us your thoughts on this and really your reaction to the reactions that have come in from both the media fraternity as well as the military high command.
Beatrice, I would say that the senseless towards journalists should stop. I think the journalist of this country has had enough of these attacks here and there, and we all will support you. And at the same time, they should also respect journalists, no matter how they trespass or maybe they tend to go beyond their boundaries. you should not maltreat journalists as it has been already seen from these soldiers. And in all, you see that these perpetrators will not be punished as in the past. Things are done. That's why I'm saying that senseless should stop towards these journalists. And we don't expect. And journalists should stand up and protect their own. That profession should be protected and also be guided. If not, some people will take you for granted. And we all support you, and we believe that your profession is a noble profession that should.
Thank you so much, Dr. Samuel Efriye. Just 2 messages from a number of you sending us your messages. Abonti Benjamin says, Beatrice, Supreme Court ruling on Pandai gives the citizenry hope that all is not lost and the will of the people shall always win over evil machinations. Greetings to the next president of Ghana. I think he's with a Get Connected team. That's Kennedy Japan. And there's also from Kwamlavi of Pokwase. He says that MPP presidential aspirants are wasting their energy to campaign because Ghanaians won't vote for any of them. Okay, so, and perhaps this last message from Mr. Stephen Penn says, good morning, Beatrice. Barbarism should not find space in our forces. The soldiers who inflicted that barbaric act against the law-abiding journalists must be told in plain language that their behavior is medieval. The high command must have them punished to serve as a deterrent to other people. And that's coming from Stephen Payne, in the Upper West region. Thank you. A number of you sending us your messages. Thank you for sending them to us. And also, let me say a big thank you to my panel this morning. Madam Rodelyn Imorayana, Public Interest Advocate, thank you for always being here and joining us. To you as well, Madam Amma Pratt, Press Secretary and Spokesperson for the Vice President, Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman. Thank you very much for joining us as well. Earlier, we had Mr. Kofi Bento, who is lawyer and Vice President with the Imani Africa. And of course, we've had as well with us Dr. Samuel Efriye, who is a political analyst. My name is Beatrice Edu. Thank you very much for joining us on The Big Issue this morning. Now, if you want to look smart and fashionable, visit any Woodin boutique nationwide today. Woodin offers an amazing collection of authentic African fabrics and ready-to-wear that come in beautiful designs and colors for men and women. With Woodin, you can get creative and versatile with your designs. Be confident and show how truly African you are in Woodin. Go to a Woodin boutique near you today and choose from a variety of trendy products to complement your unique style. Follow Woodin Fashion on Facebook, Instagram at Woodin Fashion, and TikTok at Woodin_fashion. Woodin, le créateur. You're still here on Newday on TV3. Okay, well, before we go, are you looking for a university that will prepare your child for the future? Then Academic City University is the best choice for you. At Academic City, we do not just teach, we nurture creators, innovators, and leaders who shape tomorrow's world. We offer undergraduate programs in engineering, computational sciences, business, and communication arts. And our BSc in artificial intelligence and robotics engineering are the first and only one of its kind in sub-Saharan Africa. With world-class facilities and industry-experienced faculty, students do not just learn the latest technology, they actually create it. And for working professionals and young graduates, we have got you covered as well with our MSc programs in cybersecurity and data science analytics, as well as our professional certificate programs. Yes, at Academic City, our programs are relevant, practical, and future-focused. Call us now on 026-269-3870 or visit acity.edu.gh for more information. Admissions are now open. Academic City, make your mark. And do stay with us. When we come back, we'll bring you sports, some more. Of course, that update from Nungwa on our train system. Stay with us. And you're so here on your day on TV3. Welcome to Sports. And the Mutala Yakubu is here. Always excited to see you. Hi, Mutala.
Hi, Beatrice.
What's up this morning?
You know that CAF, I don't know what happened, but they waited for all of us to sleep. And then they issued a statement.
Yesterday we spoke about it.
Yeah, we spoke about it. And they said within 48 hours. So yesterday, I mean, this dawn, while we were all asleep, CAF issued the statement regarding the chaos that ensued in the final between Morocco and Senegal in the Just and the AFCON. And there have been some bans and some fines as well. And I think Senegal suffered the bigger punishments in here because you have their head coach, Papi Thiaw, being given a 5-match ban. Then you have Ismail Assar also being given a 2-match ban. You have Eleman India also being given a 2-match ban. And overall, the Senegalese FA are supposed to pay around $615,000 to CAF for, I mean, the breakdown of that cash is on your screens there. $300,000 for improper conduct by the supporters who invaded the pitch. Then $300,000 for unsporting conduct by players and technical staff. And also $15,000 for disciplinary misconduct because they received 5 yellow cards when the whole chaos and brouhaha was happening.
So why are they being fined for the behavior of the supporters? Of
course, because it is bent on the FA to ensure that supporters behave well. That is why when a supporter misbehaves, a club can also be sanctioned. So it is upon you to ensure that there is proper behavior of your supporters. So Senegalese coach Papi Thiaw, not just the 5-match ban, he's also been fined $100,000. And I'm asking myself, the president of Senegal gave each person $135,000. So if you're paying the $100,000 for, but I mean the Senegalese FA would cover that for him. And as I said, Eleman Ndiaye and Ismail Assar also getting a 2-match suspension in CAF competition. The most important thing here is CAF competition, so it doesn't extend to the World Cup. So the 2027 AFCON qualifiers that they will be playing, that is where we will have the coach missing 5 games and the 2 other players also missing 2 games. But Morocco have also not been exonerated from this. They have also received some sanction, and they would also be paying some $415,000 fine in total. The breakdown of that also on your screen is $200,000 fine for the ball boys towel shame. You remember the ball boys of Morocco wanted to take the towel of Edward Mendy. We don't know what exactly they wanted to use that towel for, and it caused a lot of chaos. Then $100,000 for Ismail Saiberi Suro in the towel shame as well, because the players also joined the ball boys, and it was a bit strange that players were interested in taking the towel of a goalkeeper. They alone know what they wanted to do with that. Then $100,000 for sporting behavior and $15,000 for the use of laser, because when the game was ongoing, we saw some laser lights flashing, especially when the penalty was awarded to them. The lasers were in the face of Edward Mendy, and it's not a good thing because it can blind you. So CAF has issued these fines for them. But maybe the iota of hope for both teams is the fact that these bans do not extend to the World Cup. So they are free to play the World Cup.
But again,
when we start, the CAF qualifies, because next year there is another Africa Cup of Nations, the 2027 edition. The qualifiers is where these players will not be allowed to play. Maybe in the first 2 games they will not be available. For Senegalese coach Papi Thiaw, he will be missing about 6 games.
But you know, the punishment for both teams for me is indicative that both of you didn't behave properly.
That is the bottom line of what CAF is saying, that both of you did not conduct yourself well. Senegal, you allowed your supporters to misbehave because of the actions you showed on the pitch, and you walked off as well. Then Morocco, you were also involved in some strange dealings, trying to take the towel of Edward Mendy, which is something that people were asking, what at all do they want to do with the towel? And that towel needed to be guided well. So it was strange. But I think it's in the right order for CAF to act in this way, sanctioning both teams and fining them as well.
And the difference in terms of the fine is, I think it's around 200,000 or less?
Yes, so in total, it's around 200,000 because Senegal is paying 650 and Morocco is paying
200,000, a little over that. But tell us briefly before we move on to the next, though, what implications do you foresee, especially when these certain individuals are going to be missing some of the games that are equally important?
But these days, coaching has become, because of technology, you can even be at the hospital hospital and coach. All you need is being on the phone and speaking to the assistant coach. But yes, again, I mean, the presence of a coach at the touchline is a bigger motivation factor for the players on the field. And also, the quality that they would be missing. Iliman Linja is one of the best players. Ismail Assar, one of the best. For Morocco, for instance, Hakimi is the current African Footballer of the Year. So it tells you his quality. So it would lessen or decrease the quality in these teams. But, I mean, since it doesn't extend to the World Cup, they can do the sign of cross and wait and see what happens. For the qualifiers, maybe they could maneuver their way and still qualify into the AFCON 2027.
Has there been any immediate reactions from both sides?
Well, we are waiting for Senegal. They said that they were going to appeal. So we are waiting to see if they would indeed appeal this one.
Anyway, let's talk about UEFA champions.
Yes, group phase ended last night. A lot of games were played. The biggest of them all has to be that game at the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. Napoli being defeated by Chelsea in there. So it sends Chelsea straight into the knockout stage. So let's go through all the results. Tottenham Hotspur won. Then we have Liverpool having a cricket scoreline against Karabakh, winning 6-0. Manchester City winning. Monaco also drawing against Juve. Chelsea won. Then we have Pafos, PSG drawing 1-1 with Newcastle. PSV also losing to Bayern Munich. And surprisingly, St. Union Genoa beating Atalanta. So we know that the likes of Borussia Dortmund all lost. Then there was one surprising game.
I was hoping Dortmund would win. You know, yesterday I talked about
Dortmund lost. One surprising thing that happened in Portugal is that Real Madrid lost to Benfica. And guess what? Who scored the winning goal for Benfica? Their goalkeeper.
What? Are you serious?
Their goalkeeper was the hero, scoring the winning goal for Jose Mourinho's side, and that actually sent them into the last 60. So
wait, I didn't watch that game. So in his how do you call it, cubicle? However, in his goalpost,
it was a set piece. He went up there and scored.
And scored all the way to the other side.
And that is brilliant for the goalkeeper. So Atletico Madrid also losing to Bodo Glimt and all that. But let's look at the table because it is done. And some teams have been eliminated completely from the UEFA Champions League. We'll get to the table before I leave here. But it was a good one for teams like Tottenham Hotspur. Mohamed Kudus is out injured. But then he will be back to play in the last
Anytime I hear Kudus, I just sing that song. But Kudus Day. Yes, but
so Kudus in there, Antoine Semenyo also in there. So we have two Ghanaian players who will be
fantastic.
Bossing it
in
the UEFA
Antoine is, I mean, it's his time.
And
we expect more.
It's best for us, especially in the World Cup here when you have your players playing at the highest level in the UEFA Champions League. Otto Addo can only wear a smile and hope that that form would actually translate into the Black Stars.
Of course. Australian Opens?
Australian Open getting interesting. Defending champion Yannick Sinner in there. Novak Djokovic also qualifying for
these are my two favorite guys, you know?
Yes. Novak Djokovic was, some say he was lucky yesterday because when he was engaged in that semi-final game yesterday, he was losing the second set. Then his opponent felt a discomfort.
And he eventually took over.
And needed to end the game abruptly. So it means that Novak Djokovic got a bye to the next stage. And I will say he was fortunate. Some will say he was fortunate.
I think he's been fortunate most of the time.
Yes, I mean...
Aside from when he was it banned from going to Australia because of the COVID-19
because of COVID-19, where he didn't want to do the test. But so far, he's been solid and wants to win that 25th Grand Slam title. He's still eyeing it. So... we'll see if he can do it. It's not going to be easy, especially with Yannick Sinner around. He is the defending champion and he's poised to win again. So that is one semi-final. Another semi-final also has Spanish youngster Carlos Alcaraz coming up against Alexander Zverev. So, I mean, these are games that you can't miss. Whoever wins and goes to the final totally deserves it because these are the best four as far as tennis is concerned now. These top four men, Alcaraz, Zverev, then Djokovic and Sinner.
But it's quite interesting though. I think that before Sinner came on the scene, Djokovic was always leading, right?
Yeah, it was.
Time.
I mean, there would always be that new guy who would come and knock you off your perch. It's normal. you can never reign forever. There will always be that new guy who will come and knock you off the perch.
Anyway, thank you so much for bringing us the latest in sports. You're back at 10, right?
10 with the
10 with some more. And of course, some of the things that we couldn't bring in now, you can expect them at 10 o'clock. Thank you very much, the Mutala Yakubu, for bringing us the latest in sports. Remember that Queen Star Training Institute, formerly Na Suma School of Excellence, formal and non-formal education. They have 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year weekend intensive courses. They also do catering, fashion, decoration, cosmetology, and media courses. First 50 students will get a discount, so apply now. You can call them now on 0243 449046. And remember, it's always School of Excellence. And when you see Nutri Snack, yes, granola bar, you can be sure that it is full of all the ingredients you need for an energy-filled day. It's got honey, it's got wheat, and any other important nutrients you need for a snack. And you can take it in the morning, afternoon, or even in the evening. Nutri Snack, it is filling and it is nutritious. Go to any shop and grab a copy for yourself and your loved ones. Now, dreaming of watching the 2026 FIFA World Cup live in the USA, Canada, or Mexico? Well, let the visa stress stay off the pitch. At Touchdown Travels, we guide you step by step from documentation to interview preparation so you can cheer your team live. Touchdown Travels, your stress-free travel agency for the 2026 FIFA World Cup. We're located at the LOC building at Dabraka. Contact us now on 059 3434 175. Touchdown Travels. We handle the journey, you enjoy the moment. And you're still here on Newday on TV3. When we come back, we'll bring you some more. Don't go away. And you're still here on Newday on TV3. Listen, sometimes things do happen and people find themselves on the wrong side of the law. But even when those things happen, they still need rescue and they need help. And so today we're here to bring you a conversation with an organization that is helping deal or minimize the pain when some of these things do happen. I'm joined in the studio by representatives of the World Human Rescue and Advocacy Organization, and on my extreme right is Philippine Godo, Director of Communications. Good morning to you, ma'am. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
Of course, I do have as well Delight Mojaka. I got that correctly,
Correct,
right?
yeah.
Director of Administration. Good morning to you as well. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning, B.
So perhaps I should start with you. Before we came on air, you were talking to me about the fact that you look at prisons. Tell us more about really what about the prisons, or you want Philippine to answer that, please?
Yes, please. Okay, so we are the World Human Rescue and Advocacy Organization. We are an NGO. Basically, we advocate for the less privileged inmates across Ghana prisons. So what we do is that after representing them legally, we make sure to secure their release, and after that, we don't leave them like that. And that is what has made our NGO very unique. We don't leave you to go home just like that. We prepare your back, and that is, we make sure we train you in skills of your choice, be it formal or informal education. So after training you, we know that you have a purpose. As you are outside of the prisons, you will be able to cater for yourself.
That would be quite costly, training people in the area of their choice. So if they want to be a lawyer, you want to take them through that. How do you make it financially?
So that's why we have partners. So yes, we have partners and then corporate bodies that are partnering with us or collaborating with us.
Let me ask you this before I come to Delight. When you say that you help these prisoners, I mean, a lot of them have different stories, and there are categories of prisoners behind bars. So if you can tell us what sort of cases you look at before you proceed with your help.
Okay, so there are minor cases. Cases like, I've gone to borrow money from a friend and I'm unable to pay on time. And this friend will not even be patient with me and then has taken me to court. Some is not even court. They are in their cells. Police arrest them and they are just wallowing in the cells. Some are in the cells for 1 year, 2 years, just because of, like, they don't have any legal representation. Some because of poverty. Some is the ignorance of the law. So these are some of the cases we look at. Yes.
Wow. I'll come back to you, but I know you're doing your inaugural launch. You're having your inaugural launch. Tell us more about that.
So the inaugural launch is happening at Hope Central Prisons on the 2nd of February. That's Monday. Yeah, exactly 10 a.m. So we've invited the landlords of the whole Central Prison. So that's Honorable Botosu, the MP for Central, whole Central, and then whole West, Honorable Bejra. So we have our regional minister also coming. So we are just going there, assure them that they are not alone. We are all there for them, talk to them, interact with them, and then there our advocacy starts. Yeah.
There your advocacy starts. And you have an interesting theme, writing the skills. If you can tell us in practical terms what inequalities and injustices your organization seeks to address.
Sure. So one very much important inequality we have in our justice system is the prolonged remand of individuals, despite the constitutional mandate that requires that a suspect must be arraigned before court within 48 hours of arrest. But then people languish behind prison cells without proper trials. And this affects their mental health. It damages their economic and social lives. Another one we have is our state-sponsored legal aid. So this is formed specifically to help the less privileged in society and the vulnerables. But they are lacking. Lack of resources and infrastructure makes them lacking. It crippled their work. As of 2021, we learned that 35 lawyers were employed for, we are 30,000 plus in the country.
30 million plus.
Yes, 30 million plus in the country. And it's so sad, So we think that we need more of these local officers in our metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies so that it can help curb this menace. And also, there's something we say, like the law always favors the rich. It's true. Because if you arrest a rich person and a poor person right now, somebody will quickly get the rich person out, and the other person stays there. He cannot get access to any good legal representation or even get access to bail. So this is what we as the World Human Rescue and Advocacy Organization are just seeking to rewrite, help people, help the voiceless, be their voice, and then for better Ghana.
For better Ghana. So my understanding again is you're helping to close that gap.
Yes.
I mean, feel the challenge where the state institutions are not able to fully perform. I'm coming back to you, Philippine. If you can tell us how long you've been in existence.
Okay, so we have been in existence for like 2 years.
Okay.
But we are now having to launch, like, specifically launch it now. Yes.
Okay, but in the last please finish.
Yes. For everyone to see, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But in the last 2 years, do you have a count of how many you've been able to help and the kind of stories, personal stories that you've even heard along the way of helping people?
Okay, so like I said earlier, that was one case about a man that borrowed money, like 5,000 Ghana cedis from a friend. And, you know, the time elapsed, and then he couldn't pay. So what happens? This friend took him to the police station because he felt that he had the money and refused to pay. So as he was arrested, and this guy actually has like a bit of money, so he's not allowing the friend to go out. So that's one of the people that we met. And then we have, and just 5,000 Ghana cedis, and we have to pay that, and then he was out. And guess what? He was in the prison for 5 years.
Ooh.
Because of 5,000 Ghana cedis.
Wow.
It's not even the prison, police cells under custody.
Wow.
Yes.
And so what kind of stories have you heard for those who have been able to come out in terms of help that you've given them and how their lives have been transformed?
Yeah, so the stories, most stories we hear, and the reason why we are also coming out is the fact of the recidivism rates. And that is, as they are out, they don't have any purpose. And so they go back to the same crime that took them to the prison in the first place. So that is why we are trying to intervene. And so far, like some few people, like five actually, they are doing well. Some are driving, yes.
Oh,
please.
wow.
Yes.
Okay, that's very
doing
nice.
some work and pay, yes, please.
Okay, Delight, I know you're partnering with the Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment. How does this strengthen your work as an organization?
So our mandate...
You want to add something when she's done?
Yeah.
No problem.
All right, so our mandate aligns with whatever they are doing in terms of their apprenticeship program and then their Jumewura. So as we are focused on advocating for the inmates, and then when they are finally out, we intend to help them with skills. And that is where the Ministry of Youth and Development comes in, because they are also in that, they are also in that lane, okay, to help, give these young people, the younger ones constitute of the majority of the ones in the prisons.
Yes.
So, and they are supposed to be out there helping us, making resourceful things, and
yet they are locked behind bars.
Exactly.
Please, you wanted to add something very briefly.
Yes, please. So according to research, 91.1% of the youth constitute the majority in prison. These are people that are supposed to be resourceful, useful to the state, and they are locked there. So that is why the youth ministry is involved, is partnering with us to do this. And then please, let's not forget that our launch is on 2nd February. That's Monday, at the whole central prison, 10 a.m. And we are having some dignitaries, like my sister said earlier, gracing the occasion for us.
Thank you so much. And that was Philippine Godo, Director of Communications with the World Human Rescue and Advocacy Organization. And as well to you, Delight Mojaka, Director of Administration. You wanted to add a word or two before you go?
Yeah, we wanted to appreciate our partners and sponsors. So our partner, first of all, the Ministry of Youth and Development Empowerment, their director, Mr. Mohammed Sani Adams, the Media General, TV3. Then we have Cure Aid Chemist,
Saguna Foundation,
Ghana
Prison Service, Glasgow,
Saguna, Foundation, all of them, and We are grateful.
Thank you so much, ladies,
so
for
grateful.
joining
We are
us.
inviting everyone to come.
Yes, and it's on Monday at the whole
Central Prison
10 at 10 a.m.
Yes,
for the launch.
If anybody wants to contact us
or partner with us, our doors are open. Yes,
doors are open.
Yes,
Any number, very briefly?
053-034-1299.
Thank you so much, ladies, once again for joining us and for the work you're doing. Now, 2026 is a year to travel, explore, and experience more. Global Wings Travel Tours, in partnership with Media General, invite you to experience the best of Malaysia and Singapore this April. Enjoy 9 unforgettable days with return flights, luxury hotels in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore, daily meals, visa facilitation, city tours at Genting Highlands with cable ride, inter-country transfers, and so much more. Why wait? Just make your April 2026 Malaysia and Singapore trip a reality. Call or WhatsApp now. That's 055 0188 181 or 055 36 88398 today, and ensure that this April you enjoy Malaysia and Singapore. And are you ready to scratch, win, and live your dreams? Review Scratch for Win is here to change your life. Just dial *850*3# to stand the chance to win up to 1 million Ghana cedis in cash prizes just instantly. It's easy. It's exciting, and it's regulated by the National Lottery Authority. Just dial *850*3# or visit www.scratchforwin.com to play now. It's easy to play. First, simply dial *850*3# on all networks. 2, you select your preferred stake amount. That's between 5 Ghana cedis and 2,000 Ghana cedis. And then you choose your lucky card out of 5 exciting options. And then you confirm your selection and enter your Momo PIN. And 5, you receive your game result and winnings instantly. It's easy, like I just said, it's fun and it's exciting. Get ready to scratch, win, and live your best life with Review Scratch for Win, up to 1 million Ghana cedis up for grabs. I did tell you earlier this morning that my colleague Roland Walker is currently within Nungwa to bring us an update on what's happening within our transportation system, particularly on the train system. And today our focus is on the role of citizens in ensuring that our transport system works. Let's go to Roland now. Roland.
And it's a great focus on the subject matter of trains, the encroachment on the tracks, and how important we need to make sure that we keep these tracks safe, as we also make the advocacy about complementary transportation for commuters, just to improve the situation of the congestion that normal commuters using road transport tend to face. And just yesterday, we were just around the Cocoa Board area where we had the number of the tracks as well as those who were the squatters around there explaining to us why they always will be there as well. And you will find that when we began the conversation, the number of individuals who said they work with national security, our sources within the structure of the national security apparatus are telling us that they really are not personnel of the national security of the Republic of Ghana, but just associates and assigns who decided that they also wanted to contribute their quota to improve security situation around the tracks. But here today, we're just at Adogono. And Adogono is just close to Nungwa but also on the other side, the Spinters Road. And so if you're coming from Bachona Total, you get to the EcoBank traffic light, then you have to commute about 2-3 minutes, then you get to this destination. A concern, again, for many transport experts will be the excessive encroachment on the track. So you find that there are a lot of squatters who tend to undertake a lot of work around here. Many of them who have built makeshift settlements, again, dealing in scraps, second-hand items, etc. And all these just don't give a vivid pathway for the train, especially when it's coming from Tema, right here to Adogono, and then to the CBD area where we have the final destination of the morning train for it to be able to commute the passengers in themselves to be able to get to the right destination. Now, it means these tracks, as they are in a terrible state. So you'll find that the initial tracks that were there have now been silted to such a way that doesn't give the right sort of movement for the trains. Has been a concern for the Ghana Railway Authority, but more importantly, the company in itself that's managing all these operations. Now, there are a lot of Aboboya operators, and they use these to collect refuse. Okay, so they use these to collect refuse at the end of the working day, then they come to pack them here, especially for the scraps that are transported to this yard. So the concern is, what is the Ghana Railway Authority doing about this, especially the company that also operates as well? But for many people who are squatters but also have makeshift settlement here, they're here because they have no place to live. So there's a subject matter of we clearing the rail tracks for proper movement of our trains, but also finding places of abode for those squatters who tend to come here. So I'll come speak to a number of individuals who are preparing their children to school. Great people. And so as ordinary Ghanaians, all of us trying to do the advocacy, I know that this gentleman is preparing the kids to go to school. So we'll speak to them and get to have an explanation as to how they got here, why they're here, and importantly, what needs to be done, at least if they need some settlement by the Railway Authority and then the company operating the tracks and the trains as well, to be able to find some good places of abode for them. What's your name before saying?
Please, I'm called Philip Ochre.
Philip Ochre.
Yes.
So how long have you been here? And you know this is close to a rail track. Just tell me.
Well, I've been here in 2015. Actually, some of us, we don't have a helper, so we also settle here to take care of a family that we have, and also to work and feed up.
Yeah.
So we are here.
So basically, Ms. Archer, what do you do? Since 2015, you came here. It means that you should get something doing. So basically, what do you do to fend for yourself?
Well, actually, I work at with Ghana Limited.
Okay.
And my woman also sell provision items.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So what do you sell? All sorts of things,
right,
including alcoholic, non-alcoholic, and then food items as well. Yes. So tomatoes, everything to prepare some stew or soup. Tell me, why is it that we have a beehive or a hub which has become a business center on these tracks?
Actually, first, this place, it was bushy.
When you first came here in 2015?
Yes, it was bushy, and here all was waterlogged and other things. So as we start taking care of the railway here, cleaning those bush, these weeds and other things, it become a settled place, small, and later on, the grass all go off and become a neat place as
a settlement.
We are settling
Okay.
on.
Have you been communicated to over the years by the Ghana Railway Authority or the railway company that you needed to move or not?
Actually, what they told us is the railway, they'll later on one day, we are not going to stay here forever.
Okay.
We will one day, by all means, move. But actually, we should be taking care of the place neat, not to do anything to worry the railway. And also, when they need a help that they can take to support the railway. Those of us that are staying alongside the railway, we can also give support so that they can take care of used to take care of the railway.
The railway.
Yes.
Okay. So, do you think that not you per se, but all those who tend to live along the tracks, you tend to undertake actions that endanger the rail tracks and then also the trains?
Yes, actually, if we see that the train is passing and along the distance where we are seeing, when you see that there is something that near it that it will worry the railway, we do talk to anyone who let anything near the railway, move it away from the railway, and the way should be free for the railway to pass. That's what we actually check.
Okay. So all these are Aboboya or all these the Liujiang tracks that we're seeing, the tricycles.
Yes.
What are they used for?
Well, actually, they are used for bola, transporting, taking bola in and out. And actually, when the go come, we do talk to them. Actually, they are not most of them. They are not Ghanaians.
Okay,
yes, so
most of them are what?
Yes, they are not Ghanaians. So sometimes
they are from other West African countries.
Yes, Niger. So we do talk to them sometimes if in case there will be problem to the railway. As we are citizens of Ghana, we do talk to them. If you see that anything that worry the train, they should move it aside. If the bola they bring also, they should make it safe that to not worry we that are staying here and other things. That's all.
All right. You're never afraid of your lives that maybe one day there could be some derailment of the train or the coach? You're never afraid. Is it something that crosses your mind?
Actually, we don't think about something that because nobody can predict tomorrow. Actually,
but
so
you think positive.
I also have encouraged that, praying that nothing that will happen.
All right, Mr. Autry, thank you for speaking to us.
Thank you.
And this is Ms. Autry. Ms. Autry, how old are you?
Oh, please, I'm 34 years.
Okay, you're a young man.
Yes.
All right. So Ms. Autry has been living here since 2015, I have to say. So do the calculations, and that will be in excess of 11 years. All right, or close to 11 years thereabout. That will also mean that basically he tends to undertake everything to earn a living right here. And he says that these tricycles are ridden by individuals, especially citizens of other West African neighbors, and they use it to transport refuse. And I'm sure some of you have seen them in town, but again, at the end of the day's work, they come to park them here just to make sure that they prepare for the next day. And so that's it. But you also find that there are other scrap dealers around here, and they sell all forms of scrap, etc. And so we'll see how that goes. We'll speak to a number of them if they are willing to speak to. But we want to ask them really, what do they do here? What they sell, etc. Me pacho saying.
Pacho woko.
Okay. Yeah, for us say.
Yeah, from Alasan.
Alasan. Yeah. All right. My main folk. Kunyo na me no ntenase. All right, Alasan. So this is Alasan. Alasan. That's saying.
Pacho woko.
Okay. Obetna ha no. How many years ni?
Aha. Oh, 3 way no. Oh, metna be fan say be 15 years to 16.
16 years.
Yeah.
When you watch ha. When you landlord.
Me landlord.
I know.
By way me ba ni awakola kitu akra na bahan.
Okay, no ya kitu akra. Okay, so onyi enti me pesa me de neba TV no.
Okay,
your friend is saying.
Your friend Sharif.
Sharif. How are you? Okay, so Sharif is fine. Inti no inti ya ejuma be na moye wa ha.
Yes, scrap ne.
Okay, moton scrap. Hey, na scrap ya me nyiwa shama. Scrap dia wo ya scrap onye sikapa o.
Oh, by sesi ase jima na asai. Sesi ada jima na asai.
Okay, inti scrap business nka kire me ya moye ne sen inti ebanensenzo na wo scrap business ase.
Sesi a first no scrap no, say no moton no. Sesi a amon plaza. Oh, the company no so minimum say they into company no bet me about 1 week say omonto na man bi.
Inti mo sesa scraps no when. Mo ye dey na munya scraps.
Your boys ya mo kokrum na mo ko town. Na mo pay daddy ni biaba.
Okay, so that would mean that that's a business you do. Inti ade unya
Oh, sisi ade ukwa e break ke. Obetimi akwa be 1 week kura na wanye bibia mba fie.
Inti no sana oton scraps no companies ben.
Ton wa home.
Wa home sales. Ewo Nestle kwano so ho. Ewo industrial area to side oh okay nice. Na munton bi o Aluex.
No.
Okay. Inti no mo ha say no. Railway companies for no don't they come to complain that you are near the rail tracks and so you should move? Don't they
amuta baba actually any baby tia no ma.
It is almost when they come here and they give you the warnings omo kan ebufuo mu ana say omo ne mo bekasa keke. Do they just come in anger and talk to you, or what exactly, how do they say it?
Oh, mo kan ebufuo mu omo ba na mo kan say baby aye ho no na say no identity no ye ben kwan no ana ya bia
na alasan mo kasa mo ha no aya munsro say train dadie kese pa say ba munsro
yes rupa ba ya oni baby betina obeya no dan. Yes, Rupa, because I didn't know about wow, say dangerous, but yeah.
Alasan, all the best to you.
Okay, thank
nice
you.
Meeting you. Many J say utimi share me on Mekasai. Nyamishra. Why?
All
the best to you.
Okay,
because Udim say one day Ombeka's or Mumbe Yimunyi now.
Oh, yeah, him. Say him say about as I say this. What you who there? One day. Or been two or be two.
That's okay. It's good that you have that understanding. Mr. Alasan, monsieur.
Okay, merci beaucoup.
So we're speaking to Alasan. He's a scrap dealer. So basically, as part of his work, he sends his boys out. They go to the communities, and they also will go to house, maybe areas where they undertake a lot of artisanal work, and they collect the metal scraps. They put them together. I'm sure these aboboyers also tend to transport them as well. They bring them here and then take them to the smelting companies that are based in the industrial area of Tema. So basically, that's the type of work that they do. Of course, there are other hoodlums who are also around, miscreants, so to speak, but others also engaging in some vices, etc. But that's a situation we meet here at Adogono. There's also another stretch. We'll take you there in a bit. We'll also get to have an assessment and get to see. Let's go. And so as we get here, you certainly would know that all the things that need to be done in terms of warding off the squatters and those who tend to encroach on the real trust like we're seeing currently would have to be undertaken. The problem is you look at the number of people who have encroached on the stretch, whether it's from Tema right to the CBD area. You ask yourself, can this be done? Can this be humanly possible, looking at the lives that are concerned or who have also encroached on the track? So all forms of scraps just around the area. So we'll be asking some of the neighbors, hello. We'll be asking some of the neighbors what they make of this, what they can do, because people tend to also fend off or earn a living just around these tracks. So let me just cross over and see whether I can speak to some neighbors, etc. Hey. You see me physically?
Yes.
How are you? What's your name?
Fine, thank you. My name is Catherine Amedo.
Catherine Amedo.
Yeah.
A phone.
Merakui.
So, Catherine, so you sell this fruits?
Yes.
That's watermelon?
Yes.
That's the only thing you sell?
No, I sell fruits in the afternoon time.
Okay. So you bring it to the rail tracks and you sell?
Yes, the fruits they are go rounds, but the watermelon they are sitting.
Oh, it means you live around here?
Yes, I'm just here now.
Okay. So do they buy things around here for you? I mean, do you get good sales?
Sometimes, but here market is hard.
Why?
They say they don't have money. If
But
the thing costs more,
I see that they are dealing in scraps and some of those.
they won't cry. They like cheap thing, clad and
It's never easy.
Expensive thing.
What do you make as an ordinary Ghanaian, or that every people are encroaching or are living close to the tracks when the railway coaches pass by? Don't you get afraid? What's your mind on it?
Oh, it make like we are living on it, so we are normal. We are managing it, but sometimes too, how you if it's coming speed there, if you are afraid small. Yeah.
So Sister Catherine, have you met the railway authorities? Have they come around to say that those who are living around, like you people, you are just here temporary and so you can be moved at any time?
Me like this, I not meet anybody before. Yes.
But
you always meet the landlord. Me, I'm a tenant too.
Oh, they are landlords here?
Yes, those who that rent. We rent. We are in the...
Who has been renting for you?
I have landlady that rent for me. Room, not the land.
Yes, but it's close to the rail track.
Yes, please.
So I'm saying, so you have a landlady?
Yes.
That you rent from?
Yes.
They've built a house?
Yes, the house.
Close to the rail track?
Please, yes.
I see. Quite interesting. How long have you lived here?
5 years.
5 years?
Yes.
All right. This is a Catherine, eh?
Yes, please.
Okay. Mia go dogasia.
Marakuyo.
Okay. Yo. Na hosh mauna yira na nakposh.
Na ko ben ye bi ne. Yeah, no me any ehuwe ni china cow. E ba crossle. E wo toilet. Serious.
Yeah. So I asked him, and that's Toff.
Yeah.
Toff is his nickname. He's called Mr. Boy. Boy or Mini?
Boy Mati.
Boy Mati. So they had witnessed an accident before, a small derailment, right?
Yeah.
Of the train.
Yeah.
So how many years ago?
Oh, like 2 years.
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
People got hurt, etc.
No.
Oh no, just something light.
Yeah.
Where a cow or cattle.
Yeah, it's a cow. So he crossed the train.
Only one.
Yeah, only one. Yeah.
But it's dangerous, is that not?
Yeah.
It's a boy.
It's dangerous.
One day. No, okay. The government says that we want to evict people along the rails. What do you think should happen?
Because Sani rain line distance yeah, Bonafini Jomake Luku Ekaba. Omiga Gashwi me Sani Akesani Afi.
So Mr. Boymati doesn't have a problem if the railway company or authority make a decision that they want to, from maybe next month or anytime they give notice, that they want to evict encroachers, squatters along the tracks. It's quite an interesting scenario and perspective he has. All right, Mr. Boy, all the best to you. Ona, would you like us to have a rail transport system like we have abroad? Tomoboni, Ablochiko, Tablochike, train system.
Yeah.
Ni wana new.
Yeah. Ni mi like no mi age afi.
Benwele, be money. Charlie, tough.
Yeah, roller.
Okay. All right, so that's our content for today. The rail tracks, squatters, encroachers, all together. And so you find that clearly is the predicament facing operators of these coaches on the tracks, or all of us call the trains, the Ghana Railway Company, as well as the Railway Authority. And the conundrum will be, how do they evict all these people along the tracks? Now back to the studio.
Indeed, that great question from Roland. How do they evict all these people from along the rail line? And I think that is something that the government, together with other stakeholders, would have to think through so they know how to do it. It's a win-win situation, like I've been saying since morning, for all involved. But you keep your eyes here, because we'll be bringing you all the updates, not just on the trains, but also the vehicles as regards how the traffic situation is going as well. You can trust us to bring you the latest on that until we see solution to these challenges that we've been facing. But if you're planning your next trip, whether it's for holidays, business, study abroad, or family travel, let Classic EAS Travel take the stress out of your journey. They offer professional flight bookings, travel consultations, visa assistance, and personalized travel support to ensure everything is handled smoothly from start to finish. Travel with confidence, clarity, and peace of mind by choosing Classic EAS Travel. Call or WhatsApp now on 0243 535 778 today to speak to a travel expert. Get expert guidance and start planning your next trip the easy way. Classic EAS Travel, your trusted partner for the best travel. I did tell you that the more you play, the better your chances of winning at least 1,000 Ghana cedis from the 10,000 Ghana cedis we're giving out today. And so we're scrolling out the numbers. Somebody has just won 1,000 Ghana cedis. Who is it going to be? The numbers are scrolling on your screen now. Yes. And we have 0543-934-. Yes, that's 053934-. So if this is your number, congratulations to you. You've won 1,000 out of that 10,000 we're giving to you today. And congratulations to you. Well, this Sunday on TV3, we're serving talent and romance back to back. And you don't want to miss a second of it. At 5 p.m., Talented Kids premieres with Ghana's brightest young stars taking the stage, bringing skills, confidence, and unforgettable performances. Then at 8 p.m., Love takes over as the all-new season 15 of Date Rush returns with exciting singles, bold questions, and all the drama you love to see. Dubbed the Second Chance edition, it brings back past contestants who left without finding lasting love and gives them a fresh opportunity to reconnect, reflect, and pursue love again. It starts this Sunday, 1st of February, only on TV3. Make a date with us. Well, on that note, thank you so much for joining us on the program today. Let me once again wish a happy birthday to the brother of the president, and that's Mr. Ibrahim Mahama, Group CEO, Engineers and Planners. And the message says, God bless you from your special aide, Rafiq Mahama, and all your staff, from Roland Walker as well. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. My name is Beatrice Edu. Myself, Roland Walker, Anita Shadrach, and the entire team. Thank you for being with us. See you again tomorrow.